199,000 jobs on the November non-farm payrolls just out there at 8:30. Again, 199,000 versus 180 expected. I'll get rid of that. There's the consensus. 180 expected there, comes in above expectations. That, however, is still lower than most were predicting. I saw as much as 230,000 predicted. I think it was Goldman Sachs that came out with that after the close yesterday. But again, 199 versus 180,000 expected. That is the opposite direction from the prior two employment prints that we've had this week, with JOLTS and ADP both coming to the downside in a pretty big way. Unemployment rate downside as well, 3.7% versus 3.9% expected there, coming off of a 3.9% print as well. Non-farm payrolls on the private side, 150,000 versus 153. That's a downtick as well. We'll get Michigan consumer sentiment coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. There's an inflation expectation portion of that number. Participation rate there a little bit higher, 62.8% in November versus 62.7% expectation. So again, non-farm payrolls for November a little bit higher than expected. Market downside as we get going on Friday here. It's December 8th, 2023. Tradertv.live starts now. All right, not a huge move. Could be a lot worse. 0.7 now, downside for the NASDAQ here. Big spike on the non-farm payrolls number, but 387 holding. If you zoom out a little bit on the March higher yesterday, that was a definite support area. So we'll see if we can hold up here a little bit. If you missed it or just joining a little bit late again, higher than expected. November non-farm payrolls number there, 199 versus 180 expected, 3.7% on the unemployment rate versus 3.9% expected there as well. So a couple of numbers in the wrong direction as far as employment is concerned. Manufacturing payrolls, interesting there, downside 28,000 versus 30. Private payrolls 150 versus 153, as I mentioned. We get Michigan consumer sentiment coming up at 10 o'clock. That's going to be a big market mover as well. But we were talking with Frank all week about this and kind of predicting the fact that, you know, get JOLTS, we get ADP both this week in the right direction as far as the market is concerned. And we were saying that's never essentially in the past meant anything when it comes to non-farm payrolls. So here we go in the wrong direction a little bit. Market trying to bounce here, though.
Yeah, it's an interesting number here. The actual hourly earnings, the average hourly earnings was an increase of 4%. The market was looking for 4%. But like I was telling Brenda off camera before we came on, you know, we had the addition of the United Auto Workers coming off strike, going back to work. They're going to be included in that number. There's also the seasonality, right? A lot of people are hiring for temporary work in retail, et cetera, around this time. So I didn't really expect that we would come in below, but here we go. Let's see what we do.
Yeah, we'll have to dig into this a little bit, see how much of this is on the part-time basis as well. But overall, again, 199 versus 180. Happy Friday, guys.
Yeah, good morning. It's Friday. I mean, the other piece of that, it's the month-over-month average hourly earnings. That's what was like previous 0.2, forecast 0.3. That came in 0.4. So that looks like it's the hottest of those, of the numbers that we got today. So it's, and you can say all you want about the UAW and the writers and all that, but you know that number is definitely hot. You're getting a bit of a pullback, but let's remember pullbacks happen. Just quickly looking at the ES, we didn't quite get to what has been the weak support there, 45.5. The NASDAQ bounced off 15.9. Is bouncing off 15.9. Don't want to speak like that's going to be certain for the next hour, but yeah, you were able to pull right back into what was morning support in the NASDAQ and shy of weekly support on the ES. I was kind of looking at AMD thinking, well, if we do get a dip, I mean, AMD was pretty darn strong yesterday. If that comes into support, I'd take a shot at that in front of that 125.75. That's that previous high. Like sometimes it's a pipe dream, but on an economic number, if you really, really like a level, sometimes you can get it at 830 on a number. So I'll just leave it out there and see what happens. AMD was it was the talk of the town, no question about it, with that AI chip announcement yesterday, and the double-digit rally it was able to pull off was amazing. We got the Minaj boost for Roblox today. You have some earnings, although not a lot was going on with DocuSign there. Lululemon, maybe a bit of a mixed bag. The guide was a little bit tepid there, so that could be under a little bit of pressure. But you just got to go back to the things that were going ham yesterday. You know, your AMDs and your Googles, that's where it should be. Some day two type plays like GameStop, I think. And C3I, if it finally breaks support, I think that gets more interesting. Different plan of action for that. And Rivian didn't, I don't want to say it was undercover, but I mean, for as bad as some of the other EV names have been doing on the charts, Rivian had a pretty good bounce and ended the day now threatening a flat top breakout for Rivian. So that's going to be on watch today for me to the long side. Not a great start for the bulls, but hey, there were strong stocks even in weak markets.
Yeah, that's what we want to try to find out here. We were bearish to start the day a little bit here, just thinking that, you know, Friday we've had a pretty good day moving, a pretty good week. And then yesterday we had really the market get bumped up because of AMD and Google. And then Apple bouncing its head off 195. Palantir's down still near 17 again. Yeah, look, yesterday, thank you so much, 1320 Wolf. Yeah, yesterday we absolutely annihilated this AMD long at 121.50. Now you're bumping up to 130, as Neil just said. It's going right now. It's going to break it. I don't know why my chart didn't change. I had written down here that we're going to look at 130 as a possible short area, but you just right now, we hit 128.50, and now it looks like you're going to take it out again. Wow, what was hot yesterday seems to be hot today. Up over 9.8% yesterday, AMD, and man, did we hit that 121 break. I mean, it was great. We talked about it yesterday. It was right into here, these levels, and this is what you look for. At least what I look for. Remember yesterday we were in here, we were down, right? And then we talked about this that's 120, 121.50, right into here yesterday. Once we broke that top, it was off to the races. So I don't know why I'm missing data there, but nice move to the upside. Yeah, there it is. So there it was right there. You see it was a bottom and it was local tops, and then we just took it out. We didn't even care about this top, but that is where we wound up getting out of our last piece at 124. What a mistake that was. And then we caught some shorts at the end of the day. So, all right, let's stay focused here. AMD's up, the market's down. I will probably not trade this thing unless it breaks 130 to the long side. So let's wait to see what happens. We're really, really excited for, again, another good day here today. Pick the right names, but that's good. We got some movements down 0.63 now in the NASDAQ. I feel like this is going to be a good day to trade.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on a couple of things here. First off, the 30-year to the upside, 4.3 right now. The 10-year as well, also a big pop on that. 4.24. We were at 4.1 yesterday for the 10-year. So yields back to the upside. Here's Bitcoin, though, kind of hanging out, really not doing a heck of a lot. There we go. Not really doing a heck of a lot, but still green on the day on the daily chart for BTC. The dollar back to the upside this morning as well. Big down day yesterday that also benefited the overall market. So, I mean, we'll see. Not a huge move, as we said, for stocks right now. We are trying to bounce only 0.5% for the NASDAQ, but holding overall.
Yeah, it was a big day yesterday for Ethereum. It was up over 3.5%, while Bitcoin retraced a little bit, coming above that 2,300 and still holding around 2,350 at the moment. So keep your eye on that one. They're both up on the day. 1/4 point for Ethereum and 3/4 point for Bitcoin. Yeah, it's been good. It's been nice for these cryptocurrencies lately.
Yeah, there was a couple of individual notes. One on MARA in that space as well to the upside today, along with Riot. Gapping higher, still holding here as well. Mara up 1%, Riot as well was up a little bit more than that. Yeah, still 2.25%. So some of the individual related stocks looking pretty good so far. Yeah, there's a couple of notes on Roblox this morning. The maker of Fortnite announcing they're going to get into creation on Roblox. Along with this as well, a few social media accounts reporting that Nicki Minaj has joined the platform. RH, formerly Restoration Hardware, out with a pretty ugly report and pointed to further weakness in consumer spending going into the first half of next year. But RH standing out here, guys, to the downside.
Yeah, what's interesting is I feel like this is a day that I'm the least excited about the earnings plays. Like, there's usually something, it's like, oh, I like this one. There's something setting up really good. But the crypto names, up until obviously 8:30 happens, numbers change things, and that's just how it is. It looked as if on BTC you were going to get a crack at that 44,000. I'm not throwing that out the window for the notion of if it breaks out that level and starts going higher and even gets through, gets over the highs at 44.5 as well. because that would set some things up in both, Riot, Mara, Coin, Riot 16 even break. It's what it looks like on the 15-minute. On the daily chart, like if this breaks the consolidation up, that would have been looking like it was good. Unfortunately, a similar thing at a maybe not as big of a level on Coinbase, 138.5. And now you're pulling back away from it. So there was a couple of ideas out there that I think we actually need to see some strength back into BTC. But look, you lay your plans out in the morning and you get some significant levels, understanding that you can go either way on an economic number. And if you only have setups that you're looking for long breakouts, oh no, goodness, I'm only going to go along a bunch of stocks. What do you do when it comes down? You have some dip buys that you like. You can have some stocks that you like for some weakness. But as for the crypto ideas, I want to see us breaking that 44 and then taking a shot at 44.5 if I'm looking at longs. Riot 16 still in play if that happens. Coinbase longs over 138.5 are in play if that happens. I mean, as far as RH goes, which apparently we're not supposed to say Restoration Hardware anymore, but in my head, just know that in my head, I'm always saying Restoration Hardware. It's 15,000 shares worth of volume. So yes, it's done an 8% move. Okay, that's generally speaking a good thing. Is it trading in new territory? I mean, potentially. If it were to, if it breaks down from here, you got room to 250. Like the charts look fine, but 15,000 shares worth of volume, and the spread right now is more or less a full dollar. So, this one, they got to throw this one out. And there's probably great swing ideas that you can work for a stock. Like, look at when it trends. It's actually pretty good when you look at that daily chart. But for a day trade, this is a no-fly zone for me.
I think as far as, I haven't looked at Restoration Hardware. I haven't even looked at Lulu or anything yet. So $16 here for Mara. Like, I'm just thinking that, we've had obviously a monstrous run right now in BTC, and BTC is at 43.5, so it is just kind of hovering around and having a little bit of a hard time to breaking above 45,000. So I just look at these tops here of 16.5. Obviously you're back down to 15.6, but I think you could short until you break that, and that's because if you do get a little bit of a retracement, and I don't think we want to swing trade this, because over the weekend is not generally, I mean, I have to look at some studies, I don't know, but I feel like we could come in Monday and crypto could be, either at 50,000 or at 40,000, and either way, Mara is going to be a huge mover if that does happen. So for me today, I think you want to fade 16.5, but also if it starts going, then that's a name that you want to punch long. I just feel like you're coiling up again, getting ready to move, and that it just looks exactly like Bitcoin, coiling up and trying to get ready to go. So this could be one to watch out for. Mara at these levels, man. We've bounced our head off here a couple times. I like it. It goes all the way back here to last year where you bounced off of 15 before heading the move down, right? But of course, that coincides with the market collapsing. So Mara for Bitcoin, GBTC, I think is another one you want to trade, or really any Bitcoin ETF at this point.
Cheap, let's bring in Michael Noss. We'll talk about not only what this means for the overall market, where we are from a technical standpoint, but get a little bit of a look at what has happened this week overall. Mr. Noss, good to see you. How's the shoveling going? Is it still there or warm enough? Maybe it's melting?
No, it's all ice now, which is almost worse, right? So
Even better.
shoveling I'll do all day, but the picking the ice off and everything, that's really going to ruin my back.
Sorry for that. Happy Friday. Let's get into what this means for the overall market. As I mentioned, not a good number there for the jobs report just out at 8:30, back to the downside. But I mean, market trying to hold up here, so resilient right now.
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't like, I heard fade Mara when I was in the green room there, and I don't like that at all. I got you guys Mara at 10, it's at 16. I'm trying to get it to 20 here, Sean. So let's positive energy when it comes to Mara. I'd love a double on that one. But no, we can get into the market. I've actually got futures open up on my screen here too, and it looks like we're up from where the number was released. So all of this will still hold true, which is fantastic. So first of all, right, the story here, I think, is this chart in the S&P 500 and how range bound we have been from 460 to 450 for weeks now. And I get all the time people, I see it on Twitter and people saying, hey, we have to digest these gains. We are overbought up here. But and I've talked about this, I know, with Brendan a handful of times. Being overbought doesn't mean that the market has to move lower. It can do exactly what it's doing right now, where it can just consolidate sideways, and just process these gains, I guess, for the best way to put it. And that's exactly what we're seeing. In my experience and in my opinion, this is exactly what chewing on overhead supply looks like. There's the old saying, "Hey, it's rude to bust through the door right away. Sometimes you got to knock a few times." Looks like that's what we're doing here now. We're knocking on this door to move higher. And when we're consolidating and building energy and chewing through that overhead supply. And my next chart here of the Qs is the exact same thing. We are just processing this massive range we've had from this October lows. We're into year 2 now of this bull market, generally more choppier environments. However, we are processing this overhead gain. So if we break out from here, I want to have a list of strong names that I'm interested to take on breakouts. Because when you're in an environment where the market is breaking out of range, that's when you can really you can push on that breakout as opposed to pullback lever. So this is what I'm watching. If we break down, I need to see way more evidence that this is going to be a breakdown than a breakout, simply because of the trend that we are in overall. So as always, I have a list here of stocks, but I really just want to hammer this point in. This is overbought doesn't need to pull back. Overbought can do exactly what it is that we're doing right here, which is just process these gains. We're eating through supply as it happens. And you notice on every downtick, even, we're watching the futures this morning, that downtick that happened because of this report that came out that I guess was bad. Market doesn't care. Every dip seems to be being bought. And in that environment, I want to take a look for breakouts. So let's just go through some of the list I have here, starting with Google. Just a nice consolidation here on Google. This has been one of the leaders in the bull market so far. We all know the AI play is very, very strong. This one's got an area around 140. I don't know what the Google L will be, but it'll be roughly the same kind of chart here. And as long as we're making higher lows, as you can see with that uptrend line, on the every dip, we're getting higher lows. We're getting people buying at higher prices. Then I'm going to like this one. This is one of those things that if this AI trade is real and we're going to get a continued push on it, then I think Google is going to be the leader here. This next one, Ramp, which is a data processing company. I really like stocks. I've mentioned this a handful of times. This is one of my favorite setups. Stocks that gap and then hold that gap. So you can see this one gap to about $36. It pulled back, but you see right where those two lows are is right where the high was before the gap, showing that anyone who was shorting there has turned into a buyer. Anyone who sold their stock there has also turned into a buyer. Now we need to break that kind of triangle I have on the right. That triangle is, again, about, just looking over here, about $35 a share. So this one can get above $35. Has about 5% short float, again, in the data processing kind of space. So it will probably move similar to the Qs and Googles. Next one here is FTAI. And man, if you look at the bottom left, these are picture-in-picture charts, which I really love, where you can look at 2 time frames on a single chart. That bottom one is a zoomed out weekly chart, and just an absolute monster this one is. They're in some sort of airline manufacturing. I don't really know, but really not tech at all. I wanted to bring some diversification to it. But this thing has gone from $20 up to $40 since the bull market has started, and the bull market leaders are, in my opinion, the ones you want to take a look at. So this one's about $43 a share. If it can break above 43 in the next few days, I'm really interested in this one on a breakout. Last but not least is FTDR. I don't know, a front door, I think it's called. So probably somewhere in the real estate space, but this is another great consolidation around $35 a share. You can see that big gap up happened recently. That was because of earnings. Ever since then, just sideways consolidation. Now, I just want to reiterate kind of the overview point here is that if the market breaks out, I think our job is to wait, for that breakout and to have a list of names like this. If you like my list, that's great. If not, build your own list of things that are holding up near those highs, because if the market breaks out, we want to be ready.
Yeah, and it's such a great point to hammer home. I think a lot of people who are new, especially to the market, are very reactionary. They see something happening and want to participate. Where it's almost more productive to wait to see it, get confirmation, then have a plan to react to it in that way when it does happen. So great stuff. Enjoy the weekend. Please be careful. Don't shovel too much. Don't break your back. We'll speak again on Monday. Enjoy.
All right, I'll talk to you guys then.
Thanks as always, Michael. And it's no joke, man. When you get that heavy snow, sometimes you got to take it easy a little bit. But I love that point about, wait for confirmation. Like if something can look bullish, but you want it to actually break out, like that FTAI. Like look at it's a great looking stock, but it's also been in a consolidation phase for a month. So when it breaks out, that's when you get the next phase. If you just sort of sit in it, you could be doing absolutely nothing until there's a reason for this to make like that next move up. And the good thing here, we love this about Michael, is you get the ideas that are different. Like this is the farthest thing removed from an intraday trading stock. However, it's a very nice trending stock, and I think that's where you want to get some ideas as well. Some of the same principles clearly get to apply to swing trading and day trading, from risk to reward and looking at some of the technicals. But the one thing that we're going to harp on all the time is when you are finding something to day trade, the setup can look as good as anything, but if it's not a stock that does any volume, you can't really day trade it. It doesn't matter. Like you can swing trade some other things. You can always take open prints and close prints and all that good stuff. That's going to be valuable. So these definitely some good looks there from Michael. You're in a bull market until proven otherwise, and there's always something you can find that's on the verge of a breakout. And there's a few names for you. I like the ramp job as well. That's just a quality name for ramp there.
You you're a CMT when you're recommending investments and you have no idea what the company is.
Yes.
So that's where Michael and I, of course, will differ. But it's just, I always think that you want to play, and this is not. I don't want to make it sound like it's throwing shade or anything at the idea. It's the fact that the market is living and breathing, and I love the fact that he's like, you don't only have to look at tech names, you can look at names that are just setting up, and that front door, I've never heard of it, neither has Michael, but if it sets up properly.
Oh, we've all got one.
We've all got one. We've all got at least one of those, at least, hopefully. I guess. But the thing is that there's that whole thing is there more doors in this world or handles or something like that? I don't know. Anyways, just one of those things.
Well, there's obviously more handles, obviously, than.
Okay.
Well, actually, because some doors don't have a handle.
Yep.
Why would you don't get me started with shit like that?
So the point is that play the price movement, right? I mean, and that's the thing. If you're going to read charts, we sit here and talk about day trading all the time, and it's like I wrote down AMD short 130. Obviously, it's right there right now. Do I think that AMD is a short? Most likely not, but we trade the price action that we see. So I just want to thank Michael for giving another perspective, and I think that that's exactly the point of the show, is to give you guys different ways of investing, different ideas. Trade Ideas has the software for you, has the scanners. Michael can help set that up to where he found those trade ideas, right? And I like it. I like it a lot. Wow, Tisha, there's a couple different super chats here. It's only 8:53. We can look at these. I'll just do that. Let me do this one first. I just don't want them to run out. Okay, INTS shows positive news with breast cancer. That's absolutely fantastic. We will have a look at that, and that's back-to-back INTS super chats. So thank you so much for that. We will look at let me just say the name for you again, Tisha, because thank you for the $10. INTS. So just real quick, we are going to get to upgrades and downgrades soon. This is intensity. It just looked like there on the chart, on the chat there.
8 mil float.
8 mil float. Okay, so again, if we zoom back out, yeah, you are starting to rip up. Look, we really like names that break through such key levels. I'm going to have to go back. I don't know if it started in July or not, but that's great news. And whenever you get stuff, especially about breast cancer and anything in that area, you definitely got to pay up for it. So look at this name starting to go now, breaking through $10. Thank you, Tisha, for that. Matthew Dorian, hey guys, great content, learned a lot, made a lot of money with you. That's good. Hopefully I can join you with that at some day. Guys, let's keep it up with 2 Ps. I like that. And then a little strong arm emoji. Congratulations, Matthew. I mean, you know, regardless of making or losing money, I feel like the learning part that you mentioned is what's good. INTS, I just want to call it up on eSignal just to make sure that I got that chart correct. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, so from July,
It's right, yeah.
came out, yeah, so nice little move up. Again, I don't know why I keep changing this so it shows the daily candle, but you're all the way up here. So now you've broken through. A lot of consolidation on the early part of this name. But again, when you're, and I don't know enough about the story, but when you are developing said procedures or drugs or exactly whatever it is, you do have to, you know, go through this. We just made a bottom at $2. Now we'll see about a topside move for INTS, which is now over $9. Thank you, Tisha, for the super chats. Now let's go over with some review of the upgrades and downgrades.
I was just going to mention, and it's a great point, John. I wanted to reiterate on that. Michael Noss is, you know, the first one and will always be the first one to say he always lets the market tell you, you know, or tell him when he's wrong. So, no, it's a great point to mention there. But yeah, let's get some analyst moves here to kick things off on a Friday morning with upgrades and downgrades. Adara has that over at the screen.
Interesting ones in the upgrades here, including First Solar getting an upgrade from Morgan Stanley, trading higher pre-market as a result. We also have Broadcom here getting an upgrade from Summit Insights after its earnings yesterday after close. Adobe getting an upgrade from BMO Capital Markets, and Equifax getting an upgrade from Deutsche Bank. Guys, for downgrades, also from Deutsche Bank, KB Home trading a bit lower here. Also trading lower after a downgrade is Qualcomm from Morgan Stanley, although Morgan Stanley did upgrade its outlook on the entire semiconductor sector. Pretty interesting stuff. Exxon getting a downgrade here from TD Cowen, and Lam, last but not least, getting a downgrade from Morgan Stanley, guys.
How dare you downgrade Lam? Quality semiconductor company there. Fail for you, Morgan Stanley. But XOM, Randy came by. Randy stopped by. Well, he stops by a lot of days when he's in, but he stopped by yesterday specifically asking about. And that
It took me way too long. I was going through it all, and
I saw him like, well,
we saw the lamb there.
There
I had to bring it up.
you have to, because any chance we get to hit the Brendan, we only have 2 keys for Brendan on the entire board.
Yeah, there it is.
Any chance we get, we got to use them. And like data is never in the news, man. Like, and the funny thing about this on the upgrades and downgrades, like if data is upgraded or downgraded, it is like 100% chance we're going to be badgering Sharif to make sure he puts it on the list, just so we can hit that key.
Check out Li Auto.
Well, maybe you don't want it.
No?
It's actually looking pretty weak today.
Oh no, I saw some news about XPEV. On
XPEV has bad news. That looked like an interesting short on a breakdown, but Li Auto could be breaking significant levels as well.
Is there anything you want to bet about for me not to say for the podcast tonight? Because I'll do that for another pineapple pizza if you want.
We're definitely not making a bet like that. I think.
How about say, I bet you can't say, won't say NVIDIA tonight.
I can. No, that's not fair, because you have to talk about NVIDIA.
And stop eating this.
And you have to. Well, you have to talk about AMD.
Yes,
but then, what the challenge would be,
I still have to look over the show
Can you
notes,
talk about AMD without saying AMD or Advanced Micro Devices? If you can do that, like if you can think of a bet for that, I'd be impressed. If you can go an hour where I know you're going to spend 15 minutes talking about AMD,
no, I can't make that.
And you can't use one or the other, that I'll do that bet if you're game. But the problem with that is people are going to be listening to the podcast.
Then we say this guy's not even talking about the biggest story. Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" No,
right, let's go talk about XOM.
Anyways, the only name on that list that I think is at an interesting level that I know is XOM, and it's the 98 level on XOM. Obviously, we all know what's going on with oil. A lot of these names are under pressure. At some point, they're going to refill this, whatever. The strategic reserve is going to get refilled. I don't know when they're going to start doing it. It's going to happen. It's all politics, which we don't want to get into. So the 98 level is a good one. It looks like, I mean, I don't know if we test it again today, but you've already got a double bottom there on XOM. So this could be, as long as you're not free falling in crude, I'd look for this as a potential trade. I didn't see anything else on that board that gives you maybe a trade idea for the day trader, but XOM, it's made the bottom down here. You wouldn't have gotten much out of it if you took the long yesterday. If you took it, maybe you got like 15s and then you got out at like 40s, which isn't bad at the end of the day for a bounce. If it bounces off that early, sometimes you can get a bigger rally because there's more time for it to go. But that 98 has to hold on XOM.
Here on XOM, what about this Qualcomm downgrade? again, it just came into summer highs again, up to 132. What a monster this name's been, up 30% this month. That's not how Qualcomm trades. Qualcomm's not supposed to be up 30% in 1 month, right? So I feel like, yeah, this is probably just picking the price against what's happened. I don't feel like this is a story. And again, I'll have to, I don't know. I don't know what the upgrade or downgrade is about. I'm just looking at price here, and I just feel like it's probably a too far, too fast story here for Qualcomm. I mean, it's funny, like when it falls down, we kind of like, oh yeah, it's going down, like no problem. And then when it goes up, you're like, oh my God, it's gone too far. And like, this is maybe a good shorting opportunity, right? So yeah, just like it was long at support down here, boom, boom, boom at 100, it might be a short in and around here as well. So I think we are just starting a significant, I mean, the bull market's not just starting. The bull market's been here for a long time, but I don't really think it's slowing down anything. So I don't think Qualcomm's a short, but I could see getting something out. I mean, like I said, I made some mistakes recently getting out of some Shopify, got out of some NVIDIA at actually getting out of NVIDIA at 460 now doesn't look so bad, I guess, because it's right there. But yeah, you know what? Pick your poison with some of these names. And you gotta, like I felt bad about ringing the register on NVIDIA, you know, in here when we got up to this 460. That's 480. It must have been in here 460 where we are right now. This kind of a top there when we hit it right there. We went up to 500. Now you're falling back down, right? So sometimes sitting in cash is good, but you need to take advantage of some opportunities. I think Qualcomm's probably gone a little too far, too fast, and I could see raising some cash on that name.
Oh, man. We're just talking about Tesla. Let's get into everything you need to know here as we head towards the open on a Friday morning. Again, non-farm payrolls, the headliner. Sharif's going to lead us off with a look at the market.
I feel like a broken record, to be honest with you. About 45.89, that's where we closed yesterday. We're still within that 50-point range with a 45.50 to the low side. We touched that area yesterday and bounced right off it with a 4,600 top. We're in the mid-range right now, trading at 45.83. The overnight high is 45.93 with the low at 61. I'm going to say it again. If we come back into 50s, look for a bounce. If we get into 4,600, look for a rejection.
I don't know why, but I just realized we're both wearing black today.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's been talking about it in the chat.
Okay. It was a bad jobs report, but really not that bad. Let's talk about the watch list here. If you haven't done so, watchlist.tradertv.live. You enter your email address. You know the drill by now if you haven't done so. Grab that. It's free. Why not? Lululemon, top of the list this morning, coming back into very nice round number here, 450 on the daily chart, acting as support currently. But it was a kind of weak holiday season forecast from Lululemon that kind of put a damper on an otherwise decent report, and also kind of overshadowed, it's worth mentioning, the numbers that we saw on Black Friday and Cyber Monday that were amazing.
Exactly.
And then now they're saying going into the holiday season around Christmas, not going to be good.
Yeah, it's a tough look. I mean, they're not a cheap brand, that's for sure. Look, guys, they beat on the top line. We're not really sure if they beat on the bottom line because the EPS here, the comps are a little skewed. Let's talk about how they did, though. $2.2 billion in revenue. That's up 19% year over year. But here's the kicker. They made $249 million in profit. But guess what? That's below last year, where they made $255 million. It was good North American sales, Brendo, but international was a lot better. 49% year over year increase for international sales. The guide, that was really the issue, and that's probably why we're selling off. The street was looking for $3.18 billion. They guided 3.14 to 3.17.
Which is interesting. I drove by the one on Queen Street down here, not far from us, the other day, and there was actually people waiting outside because there was too many people in the store. So they had like one of those extra lineups.
They love to do that.
It's crazy. So it's not like people aren't shopping.
Well, I mean,
Recession, come
it's
on.
like it's not like a cheap stock PE, and it's up a ton this year. So like what do you want? Like it's an expensive stock in more ways than one, obviously being 450. And then on top of that, the guidance, the conservative guide, which pretty much all the big retailers have been giving you conservative forecasts, especially for the holiday season. That's what you got here, so it pulls back. I don't think that's not crazy. The problem with Lululemon as a day trader is it's not a very good day trading stock. So I can look at this and say, okay, well, look at that 440 level, 440, 430, that channel, the last channel before it recently broke out, those would look like good levels to dip by because it wasn't a bad quarter. It already supported it in the aftermarket. Maybe there's a trade down there at that level. just understand, like I don't think I'll trade Lululemon, but if I was looking at a 440 level, just remember this is like you can trade NVIDIA much differently than you're going to trade Lululemon. Like NVIDIA, no word of, like you can 100% NVIDIA is going to afford you opportunities where you can get $5 moves plus, and you don't actually have to risk like $2 because it can break a level and you'll get out and you can lose 70 cents, you can lose $1. On Lululemon, I don't think that's the case. You know, if you trade off the 440 level, first of all, if that breaks, you're probably talking seeing prints under 439 just to be sure. And then if you're executing out, you'd be executing maybe like 38 and it's not getting wicked out. But if you're long in front of 40, you could lose $3 on a play like that, $2.50. So you just have to adjust accordingly. It's not necessarily a stock that I love, but the first thing I would look for is maybe that 440. We've seen this where you get the gap down on a, you know, not a great guide in one of these retail names, and typically in this earnings season, they found a bid. Maybe that's already happened here, and that move up to 458 is it. But if it holds 440, I suppose that's a bit of a thing, but I don't think you'll see me trading Lululemon today. Like, look at the other names on that list. Like, those are all names, that, I mean, with the exception of XPEV, but just throw in any other EV name. And those are all things that will be interested usually in trading on a day-to-day basis, and none of those are AMD or Google, which were super hot fire yesterday. So if you just take those four after Lulu and the couple that were hot yesterday, or even like GameStop AI, you could have 6, 7, 8 names without having to worry about any of the earnings plays. So that's the reason Lululemon's on the back burner.
Yeah, GameStop, huh? We had that question in yesterday, I think it was from Nicole, whether or not to hold GameStop overnight. It's really at the same level that it closed at. I mean, it closed higher. It closed at 1625, 1650 or so in GameStop right now. Down 3%, but it's still well within, you know, a reasonable level. But that's okay. So that we'll talk about GameStop as we go. All right, LU. Look, I mean, I just think this is setting up again to possibly make this move back into these areas, right? I mean, I said this on the recap show last night, and it's like, I don't know why companies really, they don't have to guide. Like, I get that they want to give investors, which is great, and a look at what's to come, you know, but like 3.14 billion versus 3.18 billion, like those are B's at the end there. Lulu's going to possibly, you know, beat those numbers. You know, they had a great quarter. It's been absolutely, like, it's up $100 in a month and a half, and you're just sort of consolidating right here. You know, any dips into this area, 430, if you can get that, I feel like you're gonna do well with Lululemon. And I just continues to beat. Oh, yesterday I tweeted something out as we have that new segment on the show called Sean's Tweets. Where did I go here in the profile? Just look at this chart. I just want to show you the chart of Lululemon. Oh yeah, by the way, where's Dan McIsaac right now in the chat? So this dude right here, remember yesterday we had the
cartwheel.
The cartwheel thing?
Yep.
So here's Dan. What's up, Dan? You're a very handsome individual right now. Let me just fast forward. Here's this guy limbering up. Is Dan in the chat right now? Because
that's concrete, by the way.
This is concrete, by the way. But this guy kind of looks like he had been a cheerleader or something before, like he's strong. He has that good base coming up. I don't know if Dan is even in the chat. Now I'm just, yeah, you're limbering up here, my guy. Let's go. As he's eventually, okay, here, let's just fast forward this. Yeah, he's going. All right, here we go. Yep, here we go. He's gonna go this way now to show everybody. I don't see him in the chat. Look at this. So I was like, that's not a cartwheel.
That's like a round off.
That's a round off. That is not a cartwheel. But that's a cartwheel.
There you go. He does both.
Right there. So I'm going to say bang.
That's congratulations.
Good job. The guy does the round off and the cartwheel. So congratulations to that. You win absolutely nothing, but I do think that was
you win our undying respect.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't have done it on concrete either. I'm going to find some grass.
But he knew what he was doing.
Clearly he's done it before.
Yeah, I mean, he has some gymnastics or cheerleading or something.
Yeah, you got a background
in there for sure. But look, this is Lululemon, right? I mean, look at this. I'm lucky enough to have been an investor because my wife started buying the pants. I told this story yesterday. She bought them almost immediately. I said, what the hell? These pants are $100. She's like, they're amazing. She went on to buy more pairs. So I was just like, you know what? The only way I can fight this is by buying the stock. And I mean, look at the revenue here as it continues to grow. Every day there's someone born in this world. That's another customer for Lululemon. They're not going anywhere. Huge move to the upside, and I think it continues to grow. I mean, look at this. As, more money enters into this economy, more people are just spending. Brennan and Sharif both had exactly the same take there. These stores can't even hold the people in line. So buy Lululemon on dips is what I'm trying to get at.
All right, let's talk about Tesla here. Back to the downside this morning. A couple of interesting notes here. And I partially feel like this is just trying to grab a headline from Bernstein. Their top idea for 2024 is to short Tesla.
Yeah, well, it's not. They wouldn't be the first, Brenda.
No, obviously, but that's their top idea for next year.
Are they trying to get a better price? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. There was a couple other price-related headlines, but I couldn't really get past that short idea.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Tesla shorts get blown out in the last couple of years, the ones that I've seen anyway. But a couple of headlines today for Tesla. Number one, we have China EV sales out for the month of November. It looks like Tesla sold 84,432 cars there. There's more data we can get into. But the other story here is the Scandinavian headline coming out. The post office, I believe in Sweden, has refused to send license plates to Tesla owners in solidarity with the mechanics who want a collective bargaining agreement with Tesla, which Tesla has refused. We know what Tesla's or Elon Musk's views on unions has been so far. So looks like as if he's getting some flack on that side of the pond, Brendo.
Yeah, $150 price target from Bernstein on that underweight rating as well. So not a huge move, but downside here a little bit, guys, for Tesla.
So, I mean, to their credit, I'll give you this. On the daily chart, it's in a downward channel. It's a very gentle downward channel, but it's been consolidating for a breakout off that channel, oddly enough. And the day looks like it's coming, at least. I mean, I'm hoping so, because I'm looking for this as an explosive breakout potential if it takes out 251 and breaks this channel. We got to close above that, and that's just sort of a different story. Until then, look at the last few days. I mean, you have 238 at the bottom. You have 247 at the top. I think it's been pretty crystal clear with this name. If you break 238, you got a good level at 232. So if we take out 47, I think it's ripping some faces off because you're breaking the week's resistance level. If you can't hold on to 238, you got $6 of room down to 232, and then that's going to be the play. Now, I happen to like Rivian's chart better for some obvious reasons. Rivian is trending up all week long into a flat top break, where the last thing it did was here's your resistance, holding support, right back up to the high. Like, look at it buy back right up into that top, now consolidating. It barely budged when we had that economic number. We're still heading red. So I like Rivian on a breakout today. Maybe I prefer it to Tesla just because it's really tight to that price and could give you a little something. Once the buyers are above 1940, I think this one could be off to the races. And it hasn't really done much yet since claiming the 50 and 200 period. It's a nice little bounce so far. It's got room. And if it breaks 2020, all you know what can break loose on that stock.
I don't know about this idea from Bernstein, but the thing is that we've been talking about sort of Tesla weakness for a while. It hasn't been participating in this sort of the Mag 7 bump with the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is virtually at highs. We're a couple percentage points away from that, and Tesla's nowhere near that. Tesla's actually been a very, very huge disappointment. It's at the same levels this thing was at over 2 years ago. So it's been dead money. I mean, it's been up and down. It's a great trading vehicle. There's no doubt about that. But we have it as a top idea today of being 244 short sales. So I'll join the party here. The market is up, the market's down. Did have that retracement back up, but the market versus Tesla's double right now, so we're going to go short. But the note that I want to talk about, and we're not going to get to AMD. Okay, so I just wanted to say that AMD 130 short sell. Look what I wrote down. We're already here with the move this morning. That's true. Let's see the volume off the open. Could get a flush. Be patient. There will be a dramatic top I feel. Well,
Love the cardigan.
that right there. This is boom, boom, huge flush down. So I think this is going to be something here today, man. So I'm looking at this. The flush, it's just too bad that it happened during that number. Like, honestly, like that's exactly the play we are looking for. 40 cents up to give you $1 down. Like, damn. I don't want to say we missed this trade because I don't think we did. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement coming here off the open. But again, Sticky Note Nation, stand up. I mean, if you trusted the trade early, you're in the money $1 right now, and you didn't even have to give up the top. So it's a good trade. I hope we can continue to make it. Tesla didn't pop yet. So this is the next one, man. If we can get anything into 244, and why 244? It's pretty simple. It was kind of like yesterday's top coming through. That's it right there, 244. Then we hit 243. So I'm thinking anywhere in between here, let's short. Then if we have Bernstein pressure on the stock, that should bring it down. Plus the market's already red. I'm excited to short Tesla here today. 238 has been good support, so we might have to smash that to the short side, but watch out. It's going to be a mover early. AMD, come on. Now it's down through 129 off that 130. So there you go. That was a banger, but let's see if we can make it while the market's open.
Yeah, semiconductors yesterday so strong on that AMD note. Again, Meta and Microsoft coming out saying they could switch over to AMD AI chips. There was a minor story this morning on NVIDIA, back negative already, however. We're trying to hold basically where it ended the day yesterday for NVIDIA. But talking with, what's the company called again? YTL from Malaysia. In data center tie-up or possible data center tie-up for NVIDIA. But I mean, the group itself, I think the talking point after yesterday.
Yeah, it's a power utilities company, Brendo, for Malaysia there. It's a $4.3 billion deal that's slated to take effect in mid-2024. This will bring cloud computing where you can use NVIDIA's GPUs via data centers there to Asia. It's the first biggest expansion, I believe, by NVIDIA in that area of the world. So we'll have to see how it does. Obviously, yesterday, AMD reporting that they're releasing their competitor chip to the H100, the MI300X. So we'll have to see how that continues to play a factor today, Brendo.
I was just noting some of the yields back to the downside this morning. The dollar back downside now after the initial move higher ever so slightly. That's the DXY, but I'm just looking at the 30-year and the 10-year as well. Also, gold down 1% on the back of that non-farm payrolls number, but basically flat here for NVIDIA.
So NVIDIA, look, NVIDIA, I don't know if we get a chance to test resistance today because you're $8 away from this 472 zone. 72 to 75, that's the short zone for me on NVIDIA. Obviously, AMD carried a lot of things to the upside, but NVIDIA failed 500. It's been riding the 50 period, and since it bounced off this 450 in the 50 period on the SMA, on the daily chart, it's shown you the top, and then this... It is what it is. I don't know if we're going to see that level. So in my mind right now, I've got to think about what's the other way to look for a setup on this, which isn't going to give me the resistance $8 from here. 470 is obviously psychological. You've got this pre-market high at 468. I think those are areas to look for a pop and fade, where we try to get to the top, cannot break it out, try to go red to green, cannot break it out, and then look for short entries underneath there. If we do break out 70s, then I wait for 72 level, 75 on NVIDIA. Like, I was looking for this one for the short, off of that top, off that resistance level, just because it was a little weaker than AMD. It never breached this level yesterday and all that gigantic run to the upside. So I would have preferred this. I don't think, it seems unlikely you get an $8 pop on that stock at the open. The other potential play for me here would be, whoops, went the wrong direction for you. Intel pulling back from 45. It's been doing a little barcode of its own. And on the 15-minute, it's failed above 42 a couple of times here to get past 42.5. I think that could give you another resistance level to play off of. But it was NVIDIA that I wanted first for the pop and fade.
Yeah, so we'll be looking a lot at AMD today. We just sort of did that talk. We'll watch that 130. We'll watch that 130.50 high. So yesterday in the afternoon, we shorted NVIDIA. You guys saw me doing that. We shorted it against, here, let me just zoom back out a little bit here. We shorted it against this 65, and we did quite well. We got 2/3 of it out. when we started to bounce off this 200 period moving average, then right there at the end of the day, right at 350 basically, we spiked above on the imbalances, of course, and we spiked above that. You could see it was a buy imbalance with a big green candle there at close. But I shouldn't say that, but I must have just printed up. I don't know if it was a buy imbalance. I assume it was. There's the break right there, right at 350. So we got out. That's 65. So 465 is going to be a play again here today. You're slightly over that. Well, you were over that earlier. The high is 467. I want to be bearish today, but yesterday, like we had AMD written down at 120, 150 on the exact same sticky note that you're all looking at right now here today. And it absolutely, like, I did not anticipate a 10% move yesterday in AMD. I don't think anybody did. I mean, it's the same news that created this cascade down to 116, and all of a sudden, I guess people analyzed something, and all the way up. And this is what happens when the algos get turned on, and people just start thinking that there's only one idea, and that was AI and chip names yesterday. So AMD just kept on going. Look at the 200 period, it never broke it at all, and right now we just bounced off of it again. So like, I could think that there's a short coming through here. Doesn't mean that there is, man. I mean, it faded into the close yesterday. I just think that I think this is a top now. But again, kind of like that Qualcomm. Like it just takes, let's just put it this way. The market is so manipulated and so fake that like this name could go to 150 or back down here to 120 simply on a random upgrade or downgrade. Like if Morgan comes out on Monday, and says, oh, we're downgrading the stock. Well, people are going to look at this and be like, well, it's a top, it's a top, it's a top. Okay, well, where are we going to buy it now? Down here? Because it's going to start going down. Or they could say, wow, we've reviewed everything and this is great. And then the next thing you know, you're going to be at 132, 133 and taking off again. So I think it's a little wise to possibly take some off right here. Neil talked about that, waiting for this top. I think that's a smart idea. Getting some capital here. And if you miss it, like let's just say you get out at 130 and it takes 134, you can buy it back for $3. Like you're going to be giving up like 4%, not even, on that. You're going to give up 1.5% if you sell at 130 and get back in at 134. So I'm not talking my book here. I'm long AMD and I'm not in position now. So let's see what happens here. It's going to be in play. It's going to be traded, and it has to be looked at. It's AMD.
All right, let's talk about XPEV here. Sharif and I were just discussing it. I mean, a couple of interesting notes, let's put it that way. One of them on the price cut side of things, I want to mention this as well. They came out late yesterday talking with, we mentioned this Volkswagen tie-up going back a month or so ago. So apparently significant progress being made on the joint development of a B-class battery between the two. So remember, Volkswagen essentially going to use XPEV platform to move into the Chinese market. So new battery to go along with that, looks like.
Yeah, it's a big market, the biggest car market in the world, Brendo, in China there. So that's a good look for Volkswagen. Let's see what they do, if it's affordable enough. Yeah, with respect to the headline today, XPEV cutting prices on its P7i model. It's supposed to be a promotional period though, Brendo, from the December 8th to the 17th, but the market not liking that, probably because we already had a price war earlier in the year spawned by Elon Musk and his cuts on the Model 3 and Model Y.
Yeah, we're right at that low here on the daily chart from last week, I guess it was 5 days ago or so, but well off the highs, obviously, guys, for XPEV.
Yeah, this is a potential flat bottom break. It's just the setup is what it is. 15.5 down here all week long. The last week, this has been a support level. You're going to open up testing it. If it breaks, you've got room to the next level on the daily at about 15.10. I mean, that's 3%. If we fail this area at 15.50, if we fail to break back above, say, 60s, that's a good chunk move. Just understand, XPEV can go $1, no problem. Like that 2 or 3% is nothing for XPEV. You just got to be sure that it's not ripping your face off at the open. Like if it opens up and it fails the top, I think that's probably short into that 15 level, and then you can worry about that after. That's going to put what in play. Like maybe we see that $7 again on NEO. It's not a huge flat bottom break, but 730. It's like that 738 here on NIO is a very similar play, and then of course you've got the $7 bottom. So whichever one you're looking at, these are pretty clean levels. In NEO's case, if it breaks 38, if you get 37, the pre-market high is essentially 47 cents. That's only 10 pennies. if it takes out the low and you only get 1 cent slippage, it's 10-cent risk to the pre-market high there. And if you're holding to 750, it's a little bit more. So both of these are setting up for breakdowns this morning. I mean, I could show you Li Auto's chart, but we don't really day trade that stock because it doesn't have the liquidity. And it's more or less the same thing.
In the chat, who was that? What's up, B Leach? Is that Brian Leach? No, it's not spelled the same way. Okay.
All the Rangers.
There's a new, and Maple Leafs actually as well.
True.
So the thing is that, yeah, there it is right here in the chat. Wants to talk about what do I think of the level of BABA at 72. So, I mean, look, me and Alibaba go way back because the thing is like, I think that this is a buy at even rate now, but I just don't, you know, it's like, this has just been bad. Like for all the major tech names. And by the way, there's a new update for iPhone. I'm updating it right now, 17.2 there, Sharif. But I feel like you're getting close that this needs to be bought at some point, guys. I mean, this bottom down here of 60, 65. I just don't like the rhetoric. We talked about FXI, which is a great vehicle to trade all the top Chinese names. But if you want to talk about Alibaba at a specific level, 72, let's try to do that. That's where we're at right now. So to talk about a level right off the open, very dangerous. I'm not going to trade anything off 72. But look, it is bouncing. If you like the long here, B Leach, then I think the bottom yesterday, like, why did we stop? You know, like, I know that, you know, the market kind of got going there, but it didn't give it back. You know, we made this bottom down here at 71.50. It was the close from the day before. It wicked there yesterday. And I feel like I would let 72 fade. And then, or if you like the long, take it against 71.50, 71.40, maybe even 71. So I think you want to give this name $1 of, you know, room, give it some breathing room down here into 71.50, right? Because the upside is more than $1 as well. So like, if you get long 72, you could easily get back, if it's going to be a long, right? Then you're going to break the pre-market high. So that's 70 cents. So that's 1-to-1 back to those lows. So actually, I don't mind this name. Market down today, half, right? Maybe if I move this over here. Market down a half, and BABA only down 0.2. So yeah. I think you might have something here if you're looking for the long on Alibaba. Might be worth sitting around 71 bucks for that. Let me write that down and then we'll have a look as we go. But let's get to Roblox now as the market's open in 3 minutes.
We're 5% to the upside here this morning in the pre-market. A couple of things to note. A number of reports all over social media this morning suggesting Nicki Minaj is now associated with a partner. So there's that. There's also the maker of Fortnite announcing that they are going to put some R&D money towards development on the Roblox space as well.
That's the real headline, Brendo. But let's look at the.
I just bring the news, man.
I know, but let's look at the chart here, guys, because we're at a very critical level. This is the algo spike that we got to at earnings. We got to that $42 level right there, right now. So key resistance level. I'll let the big kahunas look at this.
Yeah, big day obviously for Roblox, 5.5%, and also breaking news: Sharif hates Nicki Minaj.
That's not true. That's not true.
Why, Sharif?
Bang, bang.
Why, Sharif?
Really? Why do you?
Haters gonna hate.
Let's hear more about this, Sharif. Look, if you can't see my favorite number, there's a new album. Okay, so
I'm all about Ice Spice.
We just heard new album there. My favorite number is 42. Jackie Robinson, The Meaning of Life. That's, it's a great number, but today on Roblox, it's kind of, the daily chart speaks for itself. Any buying above 42, specifically 42.25 is that algo spike high. Coming the daily, I just think it's got a lot of room. It could get to 45, 46. The market's not very bullish here, so I think you want a little confirmation above, but I mean, come on. Like, look at the potential. What a great rally this has from a double bottom. We were actually talking about Roblox. I know I have a nephew who, he's into gaming and went from like a little bit of everything, and I can tell you it's like all Roblox. All Roblox with him right now. So it is what it is, but that's the level, that's the breakout. There was a couple of names we didn't get to. I just want to very, very quickly, if I get a chance, I just want to throw out a firm here because we've been talking about this one pretty much every single day that it's rallied. It's setting up. It's got 40 resistance on it. I think if it fails a 40 break, I think that could be a nice little short level. But if it breaks out at 40, once there's buying above, there's $2 worth of room to the upside. So the big inflection level for me is going to be 40. I'm willing to reverse a firm. Yesterday, had to be willing to reverse GameStop. And with these kind of squeeze-ish names, I'm always willing to do that.
Yeah, look, I mean, I've been sort of preaching about Roblox for a while. You guys know that I've been talking about this name. I'm an investor in this name. My kids play it like nonstop. Well, more my son. And the quality, I was telling this to the guys before, the quality of games that continue to show up on Roblox amazes me. It's just a gateway to sort of build on top of. So more R&D into this. I think this is a good break, man. 42.25. It has the momentum. I feel like it's going to go here today. Now we only have 30 seconds left. The imbalances kind of look like this here today. Not much. Again, Nicola, NIO with the short.
Always bets.
There's Roblox. So Roblox could get a little bit of a bump and then come back down with about 170,000 there to buy off the open. So we'll wait to see. It's already done 1 million shares, so we will figure that out. All right, we only have 10 seconds. I see some questions about DocuSign and all that. We'll get to that at some point. There's Miss Adara.
Didn't move much
today. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right.
The market
we open, baby. Let's go.
Open,
let's see what's happening right now. AMD is making that move into 130 again. So let's just try to short a little bit here. Oops, I'm not even on the stock. Oh, it's because my blotter's not open. There we go. All right, here we go. Now we're open.
How does
all
that?
right. No, I didn't have it. You know, it's closed. Like when you don't have a position, it closes, and then when you do it opens. So, all right, now we have the position on AMD. This is going not to be very long. If it breaks through 131, I'm out, okay? The top of the day was 130.50. We're in this position right now. It's 40 cents in the money, and let's ring some registers. Uh-oh, here we go again. Right now with the AMD short off 130 at Sticky Note Nation, stand up.
Oh, Roblox is so close, but if it doesn't break, it doesn't break. If it doesn't break that level out, we're not going to get it. You can already see XPEV took out that 50 bottom right quick. I mean, almost no chance unless you were right there at the open. I was on Roblox at the open, so when I see that break, I'm looking for Neo to give me the sympathy play. So I can still grab Neo here, it looks like. Is this open? Neo should be open. There we go. Okay. Oh, I got 36. This took a second. So Neil still gave me that opportunity. Give it to that high of the day. Roblox, no breakout at all. Not yet. Watch out for, nope, we're not there yet on Google. Google 135.
Oh my God. Oh my God. AMD, what's up, Patrick? What's up, everyone behind me? There it is right now, 129. It's just like yesterday. Wayne goes to me, how did you find 121? I'm just like, it's a sticky note, baby. Like it's a fireball offense. Look at this, AMD 130 right now. There's the short. We got it twice. Now it's $1.30 in the money, and now we're going $1.50 in the money. We're making the day already. The day is already made. It's 931.50 right now, and we are rocking and rolling. It's $1.40 in the money. We have a reloaded position up there. It's AMD, and it's... There we go, guys. I am starting to cash out, though. Like I said, let's wait to see. Is this the dramatic top that we're looking for? It's AMD, and it is downside, and it takes one good trade, and that's it right there. What's up to Adam DeLuz? What's up to everybody that's here in the chat? This is now a DOS winner. It is now $2 in the money. Let's see what happens here at 128 flat. Let's just cash it out. There we go. We're up more now, today, well, we're not yet. We're almost up more than we were yesterday. Yesterday was a great day, I told you. So right now, AMD, when you have a good day, Neil's talked about this, I've talked about this, you get confidence and you up your shares because things are working for you, right? So we've been on one. Here it goes again. It's AMD to the downside. We're out of about 70%.
So 70% to that downside. The market actually bounced up there for a quick second.
It's starting to go now.
But the market just failed 16,000. So that's a good sign for shorts. Obviously, if we break 16,000, I want to look for some bullish things. Was able to grab Neo. You saw what happened to XPEV. XPEV broke right away. Neo still gave you the entry 1 or 2 cents underneath that breakdown. So I just got some out at 30. Next stop, those 20s. If Neo hits 7, I'm out. $7 to me is a bounce on NIO. Let's go to the desk, Adara.
PARA, Paramount, flying right now to the upside. Strong volume, up about 8.5% after deadline, which is like a media, entertainment, news Place reported that the leader of Skydance with a Redbird Capital has approached a 77% shareholder in Paramount regarding a potential deal. So keep an eye on Paramount flying to the high side, guys.
So when you decide to roll over your contract is up to you. Generally speaking, and as some people are saying roll over to the March, I roll over to the March usually on the Monday, not the Friday. It's to each their own, but I generally speaking roll my contract over. So if you hear me quote prices, I'm still quoting Zed on the NQ.
Yeah, let's just, I mean, I'm just going to sit in this. This is now $2. So, all right. Let me start. So I'm just going to see which one has more volume. NQ, did you do that already? Zed,
Usually
23. So 122 right now for the Z contract. So HMUZ. So it's going to be H. So the next one I need to look at, why isn't this not adjusting? Is H. So H24 it's going to be 122 versus 39. No, so I'm still going to stick with the Z, right? Because it's way up.
Yeah, usually Monday I think is a good time to go.
Guys, like, there it is. It's AMD, it's downside, it's a Sticky Note Nation special. So again, this is back-to-back jacks for the Sticky Note. Hopefully today Wayne's checking it out. 130 on the short sell right there. We got it, we talked about it. Not only did we post it on here, well, we also talked about what we thought was gonna happen. Dramatic flush. So here's 250. Right there in 4 minutes. So, I mean, that's pretty dramatic, I would say. So I feel like we hit that, and that's why we're only in one name right now. We'll look at some more, including Roblox was the other one I wanted to look at. Now I'm going to cancel this right now. I was waiting for that 42.50 break or 42.20 break. That didn't happen. It actually
Still valid.
Still valid for sure. Could come into play here in any second. Maybe we will take it, but just a little bit less shares because of that movement down. We probably should have averaged into it the other way there, maybe bought some dips. So let's try to find some dips here possibly in Roblox to take that one. We just dipped down into VWAP, which is 41.60. I think that's going to be a good area of concern, but I'm not going to do anything right now until we break above that 42.25 area.
It definitely broke it. It just broke it now. I'm in. I got dip and break on Roblox in like literally the same second. But if it cannot hold on to the 50 level, I'm going to get out of that one right quick. I'm reloading NIO as well, and NVIDIA is very close to 470. So 470 was the spot I like for NVIDIA. The market is getting to that 16,000, or at least attempting that 16,000, which means you're going to get some strength in a few of these names. Rivian just triggered as well, so Rivian just came in. XPEV also coming in. So pretty much the same four names that we talked about, Sans, NVIDIA, at the open. Like that's the only one that never really came into play, but the EV names did. Rivian on the breakout. You can see Roblox. If it holds 40, great. I think this is a play that has 45 in its crosshairs, and then there's Rivian breaking out the top as well. I think 2020, if you pop out the daily chart, 2020 is a level that looks like it's significant. I'd be all out if it got to 2020, then looking for the next trade on Rivian.
All right, we started a Roblox position down here. We're long at 41.50. It just went to 70 and we didn't take it. So obviously, we think that's going to go more than this 20 pennies. So let's just keep on watching that as I'm just trying to log in over here. Yeah, we got to pay for some shorts maybe. Nicola's trying to make the move down. I did just cash out a little bit more there as we broke above 128, but I don't want to get out of anything else here on AMD. Like if this is going to flush, man, we talked about yesterday down into 125. That's 125 right there. So let's wait to see if we can get that flush. Yeah, Roblox, so about that.
It's out.
Yeah, it's out for you. I still have it in, but it is making this move back into 41. That's probably a good little buy area.
That's 50 cents worth of risk for me. That's it. I'm risking 50 cents on that play. I thought it could go $3 to $4, but I'm never capturing the full move. I'm capturing usually about half of that move on an average basis. So I like that 3-4 to 1 ratio. I'm out of Roblox. You can see it's not nearly as strong. 140 because I'm not in this stock. Affirm is at the $40 level. So Affirm at 40.
Ooh,
I'm willing to go long, but my first look is failure at 40 on Affirm. Right? Like I'm looking for it as a failure at 40 and then look to reverse it long if it's the bidders above. I'm in both XPEV and NIO, but both these plays are similar. If they take out the top, I'm out of this thing. I don't want these wicking the bottom and then taking out that top. That can get pretty nasty. But it looks like Affirm is going to, it just made the break of 40 even. If it fails that break, I'll look for a quick little fail. But the buyers could be in control again on Affirm. This stock is, you know what? No, there's no short here. Right now, the buying is pretty strong over 40.
All right, guys. About everything. AMD, again, just seemed to stop one more time at 127.50. So let's just put an order down there. We only have...
Well, big buyer.
We have about 20% left, maybe a little bit less than that after I figure out the math on that one. 41 was going to be my out for Roblox, so here we go. We're almost in the money on this one. We did average back down to 41. That was a good drop, so we'll take it, but it's definitely a little bit weaker than I had thought, but the market's really not doing anything again here today, and I did put down on the sticky note that we were feeling bearish as here comes AMD right back up, by the way, right back up. So is this a reload? I mean, we already have this, and we've, like I said, that's why I told you we have about less than 20% left of this name as it is making that move back up. And I'm fine with that because we've got the Roblox long. So if that can make any sense there it is. Nice little take on Roblox. Let's go, man. Let's see if this can get back up to the upside. Bouncing off that $41, it's going to be Roblox. I am going to wait for AMD again. I'm just going to wait for 130 again. If it comes in, great. But for me right now, we have double the shares in Roblox. Let's see if that one can work. So that's what we're doing, and we're going over to the desk with Adara.
Yeah, Carvana, CVNA, pretty strong right now, up about 4.5%, pulling back just a little bit now. There was news earlier this morning that Geode Capital Management increased its position in the company by 3.75%, or 37.5% in the most recent quarter. So keep an eye on Carvana. If there's any other news, we will let you know, guys.
All right.
So quick in and out there on Affirm. It got that 20 break, couldn't hold on. There was a big buyer at 06s and then again at 4s, but both those got filled quick time. So the second it fails that previous high, I'm in, I'm out. That's a breakout style trade. If a breakout doesn't go, it's the same thing as Roblox, right? I set the risk and then I forget about it after, because if it breaks it, I'm just going to get out. It has to work right away. XPEV is rolling back into the downside. Looks like I just got 40s in there. Remember, that first wick to 30, that was at the open. So this is actually holding a higher low on the 3-minute chart. Like, this is a higher low. If it gets back in here again, you got to be careful reloading because it could be a bit of an ascending wedge, or whatever the heck you want to call it. NVIDIA did not have weakness at 470, and we're going to get to 16,000. So remember the bigger level here on NVIDIA, and that's at 472. I think we have a chance that it's going to get to this 472 on the 15-minute chart here. So we just blasted 471, and the market's going to be at 16,000 when we get there. I want to look for a place to add on the dip to Rivian. That still looks like a bullish stock. And Affirm, I don't mind getting back into it. I just want to see that strength above 40. I want the buying above 40, not beneath it. I think it's a breakout style play. I'm not going dip buy hunting. I want it over 40, or I don't want it at all.
All right, guys, like I said, it's going to be hard, to throw up a perfect day. That's for damn sure, and we're not trying to do that. So I'm just going to wait to see here. I'm only in 2 positions. They're both, we don't have Roblox on here, but we did talk about it. So these are just names that I'm trying to be focused in right now. But on that, I do also want to go over. Roblox is great. We just got out at 50. It's just, it's not taking off the way we both thought it would, for sure. All right, TSLA. Let's go over to that one. So this is, again, we talked about this potentially. Let's go, market. Honestly, the market's trying to get back to green here right now, taking out some of these pre-market levels. Obviously, the pre-market's up here at 1650. I'm just talking about sort of pre the number with when we had non-farms come out a little bit cooler, hotter than expected, as the unemployment rate there, 3.7. Versus 3.9, something in my eye. All right, so look, it looks like we're topping out again right there. So, all right, that's good. So Tesla, we wrote down 244 short. It got to 243. Probably could have done something there on that move to the high side. I'm not ready yet, though, to short Tesla. It's a nice move up. Looks like it could be looking at a long there for now. AMD just hit that 129.50 and faded back out again. I'm bidding 127.66. Shout out to Mario. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm going to take another piece out here on Roblox and ring the register, hopefully. It's only 15 cents in the money if we get that 50 again, and I feel like that's worth it. Take a piece out on a stock that's not trading the way we thought it would trade. So sometimes that's, a good indicator there that you may be off on something. Amazon... All right, a lot of these names made nice bottoms here today, right? I
Oh,
mean, the
so
NASDAQ
close.
bounced off 15,950 there. And now we're starting
We're
to
breaking 16 though.
Right, so I don't know if I like the
Oh,
shorts right now.
you see, thank you, Super SPAC Man, for pointing this out. The position board died.
Oh, did it? Okay.
I'm still in XPeng and Rivian.
Position board, Fabian.
I'm still in Rivian, the long in Rivian. I'm still in the short in XPeng. NVIDIA got to 471.55 and just pulled back $1. So that's when it makes that move and gives you the dollar pullback. As far as I'm concerned, like it made that move off 42. Now I have to try to assess it a little bit differently because it didn't. Like that, I missed that trade because I was waiting in the 70s and 80s and I didn't get it. So either it shows me a failed breakout at 472 or I have to be a little bit more patient. We're screaming into that level instead of gently gliding into it. Unfortunately, I do still want to get back into a firm. As long as I can see the buyers above 40, we'll go for it. I took it out in XPeng, but it is right back up to that top. This is still higher lows over there on XPeng. If it breaks out that top, I got to get out of this bad boy. As I said, I want to get more Rivian, and we forgot to talk about Alphabet, which was, I mean, Alphabet was like the Robin to AMD's Batman yesterday, but it has not been strong. For 135, it's not a level that I was, you know, that's not something I had super marked off at 135, but you can see you're having a consolidation and trying to break out 135 and a half. If we ever fail the 16,000, Google looks good for a short end at 135, but we're above 16. So got to look for what is strong for a long. And weirdly enough, I mean, I know I opened saying NVIDIA was a short, but I think I missed my first pullback, and it would have been a nice trade, but I didn't get the fill at 70s when it came through. It's a firm that I'm looking to get back in. I'm only buying above 40 on a firm, and as long as there's buying up there, I think there's a lot of room. I'm willing to risk each time. You've got room to 42, which is almost $2, and if it breaks that out, you've got air above that price. So I'm taking a couple of shots at this one. The previous high was like a 39.80, so if it can hold on to that each time, that's what I'm looking for. The reload short, I'm not going there yet on XPeng, but I'm getting pretty darn close to it. And keep an eye on that Google. If Google fails 135, I think it's a short.
All right, we're long Google right now, which is fine. We're taking some profit out. And look at Roblox right now, guys. Sometimes patience is pretty key for me on that one. So we'll go awesome on Roblox. We just took 50 cents on that one, put that one in our pocket and see what does wind up happening with RBLX, especially if this market does start to bounce upside a little bit there. We are going to be... All right, so AMD did fail up there again. And I don't know, man. It's kind of tough because if we're going to go short AMD and long here on Google, that's not, I mean, it's a good thing we took a little bit out. That's not going to be a recipe necessarily for success. But there's VWAP and here is 134.50. So I want to use 134.50 as an out for that right now.
34.
But yeah, but it's Roblox, guys. Like, let's go, man. That was a good trade idea down there. You know, we're lucky enough to get it at 50. It didn't break the high. I still have that order in, but I'm going to cancel that because let's just hold it now. My next out for Roblox is up at O's. So that will be an 80-cent winner. And so far, so good, man. We've really just been printing for everybody here the last couple of days. So I hope that that's good. And I hope that you guys can see some of the trades. And that's all that it's about, right? Just see the ideas that we have. And then if they fit whatever you guys are talking about, then that's good. So we'll wait to see. We are going to get out of Google here on this move back down. It's funny because we're losing money on Google, but making it back here on AMD. So I don't know, man. Holding one long and one short, probably not the greatest recipe for success. We are long Google right now at 94. So we're out of the money, an amazing 13 cents here. But let's wait to see what happens on Google as it's coming back into 134.50. Roblox trying to give us 80 cents here.
Yeah, I'm seeing like there's some buying in the 70s. I'm getting some out at 60s here because, I mean, that's where they bought before. So if they bought at 50 before and I saw a little bit of slowdown in Alphabet, I'm going to jump out. This wasn't in the plan until it set up at the open to be shorting Alphabet. But it showed a good level while we're at 16,000, so I jumped on over to it. I did not reload XPeng. So, okay, obviously that was a bad choice. I could have reloaded the same price in XPeng. It would have been fantastic. I didn't do it. So I'll slap a fail on that. Like this one is still looking pretty good off that fail breakout of the high, so I can jump back into it if we like it. I see Chris Arnst, shout out to you in the chat. Boeing is absolutely flying. So sometimes you have to react to what's happening, and if a stock is relatively strong, going to a big level, you've got to address it. 242, this is 242 I'm Boeing on the daily. That's where I think it can explode, but this is not a strong market that it's trying to explode into, at least on the NASDAQ. The ES, however, is a little bit closer to the high. So if ES breaks 46, there's a position board again. If ES breaks 46, I mean, that 42 breakout can easily come into play for us on Boeing. Great look there and a good catch. I'm still in Rivian, as I mentioned. I want to look for a place to add to this. It still feels very strong relative to what I'm seeing in the overall market. Rivian making this a little bit of a breakout. Wicked underneath 19 there, and then gave you that take of the top. I want to get some out into $20 and see if we can't stair step to the upside on Rivian. And I knew it would happen. Jumped over to Google. There's NVIDIA. Now NVIDIA flushes off that 472. Sometimes win or loss on the Google short, I mean, NVIDIA 472 probably going to end up better when I look back in about 20 minutes.
All right, we're close to the highest spot we've been at all day right now. I mean, the highest spot we were at was when AMD was absolutely tanking and we had them all on board. But right now we're going to be hopefully in the money on Google very, very soon. Well, we're in the money now. We're in the money 10 cents. But let's wait to see what happens here. Maybe I'll get some more out at 89. I don't know. And then watch out for 134 and change. There it is. Yes, sir. Let's go Google. Let's go Google. Nice little move to the upside right now. Oh my God, this is a good day today. Again, we're going to go 3 for 3 on the ideas given to you guys one more time here. But Roblox is kind of fading out, so it's a good thing we just took that profit there on Roblox. There we go. Let's go Google. Nice move back up to the upside right now. I'm just going to start cashing out of some of this. Thank you, Super SPAC Man, there for your talk. And that's what the show's all about, right? Ideas. You said there, Super SPAC Man, good luck to both of us on the Google trade. And that's what it's about, right? Different levels, different setups. Let's see what go. Okay, I'm going to get you another piece out here on Google. Look, man, 40 cents in the money. We're going to take it as Google starting to rip back upside right now. We are at the highest spot we've been at all day right now. So let's go, man. Google, wow, Google's actually going a little bit more now, so we'll hold on to that one. And then we did get a piece out of AMD bouncing off of 128. So there it is, guys. Yeah, you are right, Dan McIsaac. Believe in the sticky note. And I didn't see you earlier, but we did show your cartwheel and round off there. Congratulations on that one. You're a pretty limber dude.
Round off, then cartwheel.
Yeah, round off, then cartwheel. Congratulations on that one. And good luck to anybody that's holding Google. I am starting to get more out here. It's 50 cents in the money. Let's take it. AMD's $1.75, and we're doing it again. It's 3 for 3 today.
Yeah, so I mean, depending on your style, Google has a 70-cent range since the open. Like, it has one candle outside of that range. Every other candle is a 70-cent range, so I'm going to play inside of it. If it's going to give that kind of a move, I'm waiting till it gets at least 30, 40 in the money and down into that low, so short off this level. If it breaks it out, I think the long to me is above that. And if it can go, I think it's got $1.50 worth of room. If it breaks the bottom, I think it's got another $1 into the downside. So different styles. I mean, I don't want to average inside of the range, but I think you can add if it breaks out in either direction. So it's coming right back into said downside as we're going to Adara.
Some context on Roblox right now, just falling to the downside a little bit here. There's some third-party data that is showing that there are higher amounts of bookings in November. So we accelerated to over 30% in November compared to under 20% in October. There's also an acceleration in the daily active user hours. So keep an eye on Roblox with regards to this data, guys.
All right. Yeah, Roblox is falling down there. My out is to break 40. So we'll see. We'll keep on averaging into it. I feel fine about that one. If it does go back, we'll just continue to watch it and trade it accordingly, hopefully. Anyways, so okay, that's Roblox. It's not that far down. I got out. Like we're right now. I'm kind of playing again with house money here. Let's just see. I'll buy some of this dip, but realistically, I'm going to wait for more near $40. So like that's kind of where we came from last night. And then a huge move to the upside, right? And it's just giving it back. The market's not strong. I mean, it's strong. It looks strong, but
it's still red.
It's still at 16. Yeah, it's still at 16 and it's still in the Redsville here. So let's wait for it. AMD is just like, now AMD is $2 in the money and it's just going right now. So yeah, this is just a great sticky note level there of 130. We hit it. We talked about this move possibly coming through. So yeah, man, we are very, very happy and very pleased with the performance here today of AMD. And I you know, it's down to this level again. Let's just take some more out. And you know, it's a scalping strategy. If you guys want to hold for more, I mean, it's 250 in the money. I don't know, like yesterday when we were long at 121, it went to 130, right? That was, you know, 850. We wound up taking like $4 was our best position. So this one could get a lot spicier here. It could just continue to tank. So let's watch out for Roblox for sure, and for AMD. We just got another piece out. That's a good trade. I hope you guys had him in. And it's just my whole day. So everything else is kind of just back and forth for me right now, but this one is a big one. We're obviously going to be very net positive here. Yeah, congratulations. It's always nice to have a Friday and trade it this way. So it's still young, man. The day is still, it's 9:50.
16,000's gone, by the way. We just cracked 15 handles underneath support. So the good thing, if you're looking at Alphabet, I mean, I'm short the top, Sean's long the bottom. It's holding on to this support level while 16,000 just broke, which is probably a good stock. But if it breaks it, I mean, I'm sitting low of the day because I think it should have already broken. Like, I don't see a good reason why this is holding on to support the way that it is when we've broken down that level. The other thing is breakout trades were obviously fantastic yesterday. I like Roblox for a breakout. I like two stocks. The way that yesterday went, I like two breakouts. I like Roblox. It obviously doesn't work. I'm out when it can't hold 4150. Done. I'll take the up because I thought the upside was in that, and I thought the upside was in Rivian. And Rivian tries to break out as well. I thought there was tons of upside. The 2020 breaks, I think it could go forever. But it couldn't hold on to this lower high, so I'm out. Hard stop. That's a breakout trade. Neither one of those are going to work in the weak market. Got to be able to adjust. The only the mistake might have been, it's not might. You know, it was a bad call not to reload XPEV on the short, but it looks like it's going right back into that low of the day, and that brings me right back over to a name from yesterday. I heard you say it, and I didn't pay for locates this morning. I'm going to go ahead and do that now myself because Nicola's trying to make a run to the upside. Now that 80 level on Nicola, I'm talking about 80 cents. It's not an $8 stock. That 80-cent level was really good yesterday for resistance. If it makes any kind of press in there, I'm going to look for shorts in the 80s on Nicola if it tries to go. And if it just flat out breaks 75 down, I'm going to short 75 when it breaks. But I have to go pay for my locates first. Actually, I should check to see if they're free.
All right, so we got out of some there when Google broke. We just bought some more off that 50. So the thing is, it's just trying. Oh, that's not Google. Hold on a second. That's Roblox. Here's Google right here. It's at the 50-period moving average. I'm going to give this one a little bit more room, I feel like, than just breaking right now. So let's just see if it goes. Like Neil said, I mean, the market's at 16,000 and not doing anything right now. So let's hold on. I mean, we already captured this. We have now like 5% left. We talked about having 20%, so we went out and out, basically 10% each. We have such a small part left on this name. So maybe the move is done. I don't know. The thing is though, like I said, I was feeling bearish. So right now I feel like I maybe should flip back into that mode here. But again, we're above the VWAP, we're above 50-period moving average, trying to hold it. You know, I don't know. Well, let's give it a little bit of room. Roblox is flat here. Well, we're up on Roblox today, but we're flat on this current position as we're long now at $40.98. So yeah, that's this could work, and this could work pretty good. Let's put an offer at $41.30 now to see about getting something out there on Roblox. Again, 41. Actually, I'm at 41.08. Why am I at 08? That's that kind of top right there. All right, fine. We'll take a piece out for 10 cents. That's not enough. Let me just cancel that. I am going to go to that level that I just mentioned there, 41.20 or so. Let's see if that will work for us. There's a good little reload now on Google. You know, we got a piece out there. Let's see. There we go. We'll take a dime. We'll take a little bit more as it goes back up to the upside here, hopefully for Google. But again, nothing's really moving. Maybe we have to look at some more names. Tesla, probably that 240.
Boeing
is Boeing moving? That 244 top on Tesla. That 244 top.
Why'd that go to Alibaba?
On Tesla. Again, guys, I just want to say something. Like I get sort of distracted a little bit here because I'm looking at not all the right names. Look at it. Let's just look at this. Palantir long 17, Tesla short 244. All right, so Tesla short 244 is now $3 in the money, but we don't have it, so it doesn't matter. But hopefully you do because you're checking out the sticky note. Look at Palantir long at 17. Guys, it goes to 1708. That's another one for you. So again, depending on your style, there's something for everybody here on the sticky note. I think everyone should check it out. It's at Trader TV Sean. And we just got out of some more Google up there as it went into the 60s, but let's just wait to see where it goes from here. It's definitely not a strong name today.
It just wicked that bottom at that 134.5. So if it gets back above 75, I think it's probably headed back to that 35 level for a reload. XPEV just wicked the low of the day. I'm looking for a place to add into this. It's underneath VWAP. It's a big time flat bottom breakdown. On the daily chart, there's room to about 1510, so you still have some room to capture. But I'm starting to think I may have missed the opportunity off of VWAP on this one. It is what it is. I just paid for that Nikola short. If it breaks 75, there goes the position board again. If it breaks 75, then I am going short Nikola at 75 cents or 74.99, something along those lines. Alphabet, as we mentioned, still in this one. As long as it holds 135, like that's some lower highs. It's underneath previous support, which is 135.80. That's most of the reason I like this. Support turning into resistance and yada, yada, yada. But until it gives me a re-entry, that's at 135 and just above that you're taking those fills with the quarter being the out. Intel's breaking there, John Spruill. Oh, so it's not John Spruill, it was Alex B in the chat. John was talking about Tesla. So Intel, there was no failure at 42. NVIDIA was the one that gave the fail off 472. This is a relatively strong stock today, Intel. So I want to respect it. You'll see I have a line drawn at this high of the day. You have to go pretty far back to see why, but it's only a couple of days. If we get back above 16,000, I'd probably add this to the list of things that can be a breakout. The two breakouts did not work today, no questions asked. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't go to one that sets up. And Intel is actually setting up on some strength here if it can climb through 75.
All right, it's a monster move up for Google. We are now 50 cents in the money on reloaded shares. It's a huge positive name.
Number.
Let's go over to, I have the number, but I'm going to give it to Adara. Let's go.
Yes, so we do have the number here. The Michigan consumer sentiment is actually at 69.4, sorry, so much higher than the consensus 62, the forecast of 61.4, and the previous is 61.3. We also have the inflation expectations here at 3.1% compared to the forecast and previous of 4.5, so a bit lower here than expected. The 5-year inflation expect just a little bit lower here. Previous was 3.2, forecast was 3.3, and actual was 2.8% here, guys. In terms of what the market's doing, we did get a nice little bounce here off that number. This is the SPY looking to continue to the high side here. In terms of specific stocks, moving Paramount still really strong, actually hit a 4-month high earlier today, trading up almost 10% after a report from Deadline saying that there's some Skydance, which is a studio, and Redbird Capital looking to approach a 77% shareholder in Paramount regarding a potential deal. We also have DocuSign here. This one initially trading lower, now gaining a little bit here, trying to get to the upside after posting a strong earnings beat and actually revenue expectations higher than the consensus estimate here. Brought to you by SurgeTrader, where traders can get a funded trading account up to $1 million and keep up to 90% of the profits. The program has simple rules, no time limits. Go to surgetrader.com/TTV and use the promo code TTV for 10% off.
Thank you very much. And the thing about those numbers is, remember, like, I mean, you can make an assumption you get volume spikes at those levels. It came right in. I was waiting for this. Fills above 135. Money fills above 135 in Alphabet, so I got another reload. It's been about 12 to 13 that was the top. This time I actually got 04s. So I got to fill just barely above. It still hasn't breached the high. We'll go rinse and repeat it as many times as we can there on Alphabet. And then guess what kept on going? So I'm into another break on a firm. Remember, I'm thinking where to add on a firm if it's going to hold above 40 even. I think there's room to 42. We've had this break. I'll give it 3 shots, and if it can't go this time, forget about it. But a firm is up 2%. The market's holding 16,000. This was a long breakout idea that hasn't really given up the ghost just yet. It hasn't worked initially, and I want them to work right away, but it has not given up that ghost.
All right, guys, there's another one. That Google trade down there at 50, like Neil was saying, back and forth, but that's a 50-cent winner, and I mean, I'm going to cash that out right now. We only have a small piece left of that, so that's going to be a good one. Roblox, again, let's just wait to see what happens with Roblox. It's at a tipping spot here. This is where we're long, and we don't have that many shares. I am waiting for Wow, there goes Google. Let's go, man. Spin that again right now. Now 70 cents. Can we go another Dollar Club member here today as there goes Google. Nice move back up to the upside. We always wish we held shares, but remember what I said. We trade with upside shares. So we scalp it out, when it happens, and then I always look back and say, Sean, why? But that's okay, we know why. So we've already scalped it out. That's another banger for you there today. So the only trade we're gonna lose on all day here, and it's position pending, of course, and that is going to be Roblox. That just broke lower. So Adara brought some new news to us right there. So I'm not.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either. But I'm not gonna trade it against that. I'm just going to wait for 40 bucks. So if it continues to fall down, that's where we'll put the prices on. But right now it's 3 for 3 position pending on Roblox, and it's not looking the greatest. I'm actually going to change my bid. I had it at 40.30. I'm actually going to go down to like 40.20 just to see what's going on, and I'll just double my position. I don't even have that many shares on this right now. So we'll wait. We'll double it up if it gets back in. But so far so good on the day, man. Like I said, we've been really, really impressed with the market the last couple days, and it's been pretty good. So we'll wait. Mara ripped. Oh, come on, man. Did it go through that 1650?
I'm going to be pissed if Riot made the breakout.
Yeah,
because the breakouts today,
right okay.
I mean, we'll see what happens with a firm, but the breakouts for me were my top 2 plays, and neither one of them panned out. I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens with a firm, like I said. Simple plan on Google. You can see the range. Only short the top, only long the bottom, do nothing in the middle, and if it breaks out the top, get out. I did actually, obviously it was a keystroke error. I did not mean to go long. I essentially just covered for more than short that I had and was able, it made money, but that's just because when it broke the level, I hit off or enter and it was a couple of cents higher. But I did not mean to be in that. I was not looking to reverse the trade on Google. I wanted to see buying above and give me some confirmatory action. It might be doing that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, fine. That actually wasn't intentional. I didn't mean to say confirmatory. It kind of just came out. But yeah, if I see buying above, I don't mind it. But I've been gunning for the buyers. Every single time there has been strong buying above 40, I've been getting in at around the same level on a firm, and I'm looking for 50s, and then I'm looking for evens. We're going to go back to Adara. The other one, before we go there, though, remember, don't forget about Boeing. That was a late entrant to the list here for me when a viewer mentioned it. It's trying to make another run at that top, but it needs to get through 242. 242 is the big level on the daily. Otherwise, I think you're looking for the stairs up and supports underneath 240. Adara?
There's a note in Lululemon here, trading lower earlier, now hitting 52-week highs, initially trading lower with earnings. They did beat earnings expectations, but the guidance was a bit lower than people were expecting just due to concerns regarding consumer interest, guys. Now we're up almost 2.5%.
All right, we're going to, we're just gonna, because Google's almost $1 in the money now, and there goes Roblox right back up to the upside. Again, bouncing off the 50 period, breaking through VWAP, and now you're at the 200 period. So if you are looking short on Google, this could be a level. For me, net pa, but if you want that, it could go. The market's trying to go right now. We're gonna tweet this out. It's another one down to the downside there, 134.50. Here comes Roblox. We are now flat on this name, so let's wait to see. We are still waiting for that breakdown to be completed, and maybe it did there at 40.50. We could have put more in. We could have put more in, and we didn't. It is a positive name for us. I can get out now and be basically flat on the day for it, but I'm going to try to give this a little bit of room. And there it is. We talked about a dollar club, and there it is now officially for Google. So that's we've had a $2.50 club winner today in AMD, and now we put $1 on the board for Google. So let's see if we can do that for Roblox now. So far so good here. Again, I hope you're enjoying the day. I know you guys can all see these positions. You can see what's happening. That's the best part about this show. You can follow us if you want to. You can see all the trades. We explain them. And, the rest, as they say, is history. So enjoy the show, man. I'm glad you're hitting that. And I do have a surprise for everybody. Later on this afternoon, we are going to be debuting Mr. Patrick behind us there. So he's going to come on the midday show. So I've got him ready to go here. He's psyched up. He's pounding back the Red Bulls. No, hopefully he's not. And he's a great individual. And you're going to see him at 1:30 or so. Maybe a bit. What? Yeah, 1:30. Yeah. Sharif just said 2:30, but that would, of course, be during
obviously that
afternoon show. That's okay. It's okay, Sharif. You're the professor. It's okay. So we'll be doing that. Maybe 1:15. I don't know. We'll see how frisky we feel with that one. So join us again. Adara, Sharif, killing it on the midday show. But we're going to give this guy a chance. So that should be good. But hey, man, there it goes. There goes Google right now. So that's a good one. Let's ring that register now. There goes Roblox right now. Man, this has been a good day. There goes Roblox breaking through 41. There it is. Another one for you again. So far, so good. INTS is also making moves right now. So shout out to Tisha, who brought this to our attention earlier. Wow, this Google is crazy. Right there, nice move up to $11 now for INTS.
That one, I wanted it to be back to $6. That's a wild one. 8 million float. It never really provided the dip buy opportunity. So just an update on a firm. I'm not covering unless it breaks the high. Like this is a breakout trade where I'm getting teens and I'm out underneath 80. So I'm putting up 30 to 40 cents, which is almost 1% on that trade for a strong push to the upside, right? So that's the thing. Like the breakout works or it doesn't. If I scalp this out, then the trade doesn't make any sense because then suddenly when you win on the trade, it's not gonna count for when the breakout doesn't work. So I am looking for the first out into 40.50. My offer is just out in front of it. We'll see if we get it in just a couple of seconds there. Come on, where is it? You know what? Whatever. Someone wants to show up at 47. I'll put 46. So I just got the first out there. It doesn't really matter. But when it pops up to a price and then goes down 4 cents off of it, it's like, whatever, move it by 1 cent and you might get the fill. So I just adjusted it very, very quickly by 1 penny. So it's now starting to go. Boeing, we'll see if it gets back to the upside. I'm not sure that's going to happen. DocuSign. So, I mean, I thought this would be a nothing burger today, and DocuSign is anything but a nothing burger. Okay, so wrong about it, but there isn't a red candle pretty much since 9:33 on my 3-minute chart. If it's going to hold, I usually look at something like previous close, previous highs. That's 47.50 to me. If this can hold above 47.50, I needed to consolidate or pull back or do something to get an entry. That looks pretty darn good to the upside. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't read the DocuSign report. It doesn't really matter, but I just remember seeing the price action and saying, hey, this thing came all the way back and was just sitting here doing nothing. Not going to trade it. I think that could be a bit of a mistake. We'll see if it can hold that 41. I was considering getting back into Roblox. My thesis was for the breakout. But here's the thing about the breakout. It can still happen. If Roblox gets back above and starts taking out buyers above 41.80 and I can get the longs in here again, I'd do it again. Like the breakout to me is still very much valid if it gets back there and it's still got a lot of room. So I'm going to wait for that level. Affirm is the one that looks like it's going to work, but the breakouts are 1 for 3 for me today. Sometimes it's going to be like that. Yesterday, you couldn't have really lost on the AMD when it started going, obviously, and same thing with Google. Today was a little trickier, but the market's starting to fly now.
Yeah, it's now 10:11. It just feels like if it's a day that ends in Y, we're doing this. Okay, so there it is. Welcome to iPhone. Okay, good. Thanks, iPhone. Well, nice to be here. All right, so another update there coming through for iPhone. Some enhanced. All right, we're now. Look, I hope that we get a Roblox breakout, but it's stuffing.
So weak.
Yeah, it's stuffing right now at 41. So we'll take out some more profit. We're 30 cents in the money. I'm waiting up here a little bit, see if we can get 41, like basically this bottom 41.20. We can get another piece out on that one, then we'll be really laughing. Google is laughing all the way to the bank right now. I mean, this name is now up $1.60 now in the money and continuously going. So I was going to just hold this until we break through 135.50 again, back to the downside. So I feel like this is a name that we definitely want to be all about. AMD's come all the way back, which is great. I just don't know if I want to reshort it, man. I mean, the market is just absolutely
Market's
tearing
out of
up.
control right now.
So, you know, what are we going to do? We've already got it. We've already made the day. The trophy is already being lifted. We're happy with it. You know, you can always get better, and we're going to try to do that for you every single day, but I'm not going to push the facts. Okay, we're going to continue to trade the way we've been trading. We're going to give you guys the winners. Like I said, you can see all the positions. You can see the names that we're in. And I'm only in 3 today, AMD, Google, and Roblox. And they are, you know, AMD was this. Roblox was kind of like you had to let it cook a little bit, so now it's in the money. Now Roblox in the money, 30 cents, it's a positive name, but you had to let it cook. And then of course, Google was a once, a twice, a 3 times, a 4 times, a 5 times, a 6 times. I don't know how many times we reloaded it down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like maybe one too many bangs there, but all is well. Roblox just failed, literally at the penny that we were looking for. It failed at 14s. We're at 15s there for Roblox. So let me just change that order now and slip it in there somewhere in and around that level. We'll see if it can come up and print us in and around there as well. And it's only 10:13 now. We've got it. Yeah, Andrew, respect to you for shouting out the sticky note and what it's all about. But I don't have the 244. It give it to you again right there on the short side, and I appreciate you, Andrew. But honestly, right now the market is blasting. I just don't know if I want to do that to Tesla. I could. This is part of the problem when looking at your P&L. Like, you know, I see it and now I'm like, oh, I don't want to give it back on a trade idea that I'm not 100% certain on, right? So, you know, we'll just continue to watch everything. And yeah, Google is fading out a little bit. That 136 could have been a good top. Probably could have, should have.
Position board's gone again, but
yeah,
I got to address the question. So someone asked why no Intel. I'll tell it like it is. Misplaced stop order. So Intel, this is what's with this wick? This is Intel. It broke out. I had the 65, 50 level, didn't break, but I misplaced my stop. I went over to address some orders on a firm. I came back, I was out of it. I'm like, what the heck just happened? And Intel's absolutely flying. So it's going to happen when you go from place to place. In that particular case, it was literally just the wrong number. Like, it's a simple keystroke error. I just put in the wrong price. Like, it clearly did not break out previous support, break down underneath previous support on Intel, and it's still going to the upside. This is still a strong stock. Now, all you can do is make the next trade in a situation like that. So if I think it's a stair step to the upside, it's like, where can you take the next step? If it fails off 43, I'll just look for a consolidation somewhere. You know, that last wick when I got in, that got to 70s. Maybe it bounces off 70, 75. I don't know. I can't predict the future. I just know it's a strong stock, and I'd rather be going long it than short it. A firm just got to next level up at 40.70, so it's starting to work. I'm still in 60% of it. Next out's going to be out in front of 41. If it gets through 41, I think it can shoot 42. But remember, the breakouts were not clean today, right? Like, for my style of trade, I'm going to get in, I'm going to get out on a breakout. I'm going to look for opportunities to jump back in where I needed to see strength. And where I needed to see strength was there. If I dip buy all the way, it would have worked. But that's not, to me, that's a dip buy trade, not a breakout trade. Those are two very different things. So you got to be able to trade your book. XPEV is interesting in that it's like holding this low. But yeah, if it doesn't break the low this time, this market's way too strong to hold on to it. It's wicked underneath the bottom now twice without breaking out. So without breaking down, I should say. I don't want this thing to break out on me. I think it's probably worth double checking on some of the other Chinese EVs to see if they're showing some relative strength. And speaking of relative strength, wow, NVIDIA's now 2% to the upside. Yeah. That's the thing. I missed the first short on NVIDIA at 472. And if I miss the first short, I've been guilty often of jumping in and just taking it the second time. If you're going against the grain, generally speaking, that first fade is going to be the best one. So that was the opportunity to short that level. It gave $3, but I didn't have it. I'm not going to compound that by then taking it and getting blown out of the water. The market's going up. Things are strong. It's about finding more opportunities for the long than anything else. About 10 cents away from getting our next fill in a firm. The way this stock is trading, I'd be surprised if we didn't break 41 today, but I got to respect every even dollar level when it comes to this one.
All right. So I put another 10% on for AMD here at 130. So we don't, like what I have right now is 10% of the position that we had right here.
Oh, ARM? What the
So
heck?
we're going to watch out for 130.50
Possible.
coming through right now. Google's right back up to 136. And then just a little bit of an update. I know it's very hard. It's not hard. It's not so hard to follow our trading, but if you are, I got out more Roblox. I only have one piece left on Roblox. It seems like it faded out. We missed that by a penny, which sucks. So we'll get a 90 fill. So we just got a 90 fill. And I'm actually now going to drop this because we don't need to, well, we don't need to be in it. But yeah, let's just get out. If this takes out 40.50, we'll just get out and then we'll reassess it a little bit lower because the day that we're having has been quite the day. All right, so let's just do this together. Roblox, a break of 40.50. Look how obvious this is. Like, this is the other thing. I'm well up today, you know, and so part of it is it's 10:20 right now. I'm gonna put that out before it tanks in. You know. Part of it is capital preservation. You don't have to be in a trade if you don't think it's going to work, even if it's like, I think it might, I'm not just going to average into something that potentially may or may not work at this point. We've been really, Neil said.
ARM just broke 65.
Yeah, ARM's amazing. Neil was mentioning about, you know, not being able to predict the future, but lately, yesterday we predicted the future, and we didn't predict the whole future. You're never going to get that right. And today we're doing well again. So I'm not, you know, I don't want to like.
Well, when I said that.
Test. No, I just don't want to test like the luck right now.
When I said that.
Wait for setups.
It's an important point for that. A trader's job is not to make a prediction, it's to make a trade, right? So you have it, once you have an idea of what can happen, can you form a trade around it? If you can form a trade around it, yes. But if you can't form a trade around it, I want a firm, not a firm, it was Intel. I want Intel to go up. I think it's a good long. I just didn't have a trade after I got out of the one I was in. So it's more about finding entry point. By the way, just to get to ARM for a second, because flat out, I mean, 65, we talked about it a couple times this week, but look, I didn't see it getting to that price as quickly as it did. I looked over and I was short at 88, and then it broke out the top and I was reversed. And it happened really fast as this market is absolutely ripping to the upside. I thought I just got filled there, but I did not catch the fill there in the 30s, so I'm going to get some out in the 30s now. But ARM, this is 65 for the last week and a half. I don't know where this is going to go, but I can tell you on the very first day of trade for ARM, I think 66 change was the high, and then the next day it opened up at like, I don't know, you can see what happened, it was kind of nasty, but 66 and 66 to 66.25 is that level on the daily. So I want to get out into that level and then just see if I can hold a piece for the dream past 66. You know, it is what it is. I'll tell you, ARM, you can talk about it being overvalued, whatever you want about the valuation of the stock, and a lot of people have talked about it. But the second they reported earnings and they were good, money came into this stock. And that's all that's mattered. Forget about everything you think about it. They've been buying this stock up since earnings, and it's on another breakout here today as we go to the small cap recap with Adara.
Some interesting ones here, including INTS, Intensity Therapeutics. This one's been discussed a lot. Really interesting study basically saying that one injection of their treatment can induce up to 95% necrosis of a tumor. So really interesting to note, up about 150% right now. We also have Seats, SEAT is the ticker here, Vivid Seats, announcing the pricing of a second underwritten public offering of 18.5 million shares. This one's also one to watch. Last but not least, ALXO, really strong right now after Jefferies upgrades from to buy and then also raises the price targets from $8 to $18. Keep an eye on these names, guys.
All right.
It doesn't feel, the thing about the small caps, it doesn't feel like that kind of a day today. I always find, and this is anecdotal, but it's just my personal take on it. I really like the small caps in the days that the market's weak. It's just usually when the days the markets are strong, there's usually things you can find to just join long trades, which is easier. I find joining long trades is way easier than joining shorts lower. That's maybe a psychological thing. I think a lot of traders can relate to that. But on those days where the market's weak and you see something squeezing, then you're joining those squeeze names on those days. So if there's something squeezing, apologies in advance for not getting to it. But as I said, once the market got above 16,000, it wasn't that hard to find some long ideas. So I was short ARM. It just made the move into 66. So we just got that. Where is a firm? Because the firm is starting to slow down as well. Oh. Okay, a firm got to 40.91, so I did get that next fill to the upside on a firm, but I want to respect the fact that, I mean, XPeng, I never got more into this at VWAP. It's still weak, so I'm going to hold on to XPeng. I think it gets to 15. 15.10 is the low, so I'm just going to park a bid down there. Because this one's still looking relatively weak, down 4.5% into a market that's absolutely flying. And shout out to some of the others, the Magnificent Seven that are also
ripping.
Yeah, like I mean, it's not just the ones we're showing you guys. Meta's up 1.2%. It's flying. I don't have any big levels on Meta till 335. Check that. That looks, it'd be 334. I guess like 334 is the big level, but I think 35 when you round it to the upside. That's a ways away. So Meta, that's got room to go as well. 328 looks pretty darn good, but you know, I was looking at other breakouts today. We'll see if we get a 41 break here on a firm. If a firm fails a 41 break, I'm going to take another piece out while still holding some of this position. And remember, I took this breakout 3 times. And I've been there before where I don't take it the 3rd time. It sets up again and I don't take it. But you've got to. If a trade sets up, it doesn't matter. The market doesn't care what you did 15 minutes ago. Stock's going to do what it does. And if a trade sets up, you've got to take it. Regardless of how your breakouts have been doing, if it still looks good, just go into it again. If I see Roblox at 42 at 11 o'clock, I probably go for the long again. It just didn't work out this morning.
Yeah. It didn't really work out. That's right. I mean, we're right back to flat on Roblox right now. I mean, we've taken the profit, but I don't know. I'm not. We already talked about it. If that breaks through 40.50, we're gone Zeno on that one. All right. I'm going to give this. We're short at 130.50 right here on AMD. The short is not right on this day. We know that, but I'm going to see if we can get. We've made so much money on it that it's like whatever. We'll just wait. Definitely not going to give anything back, but let's have some more fun. Let's see if it breaks through 131. All right, so we'll wait. I'm going to get shorter in the 80s. We'll see if that can go well. Wow, Square's back to $70 right now.
Did it break 70?
I may have to look into my own account here and start to get some of this out as well. As we dip bought very small amounts of both Square and PayPal. It was just, and they're both like at the $50 level. PayPal's not doing nearly as well as
Square gets the crypto bump.
Yeah, PayPal's
and that's the difference between the two. It's like because Bitcoin made the move, Square is super strong.
All right, so here's AMD right up to 131 right now. We're short at 72. You know, it really hasn't been flushing in this bump up. You know, it's just been going. We saw this happen yesterday where it just went and it did not stop. And then I said, there's no point in shorting it. There it goes. There's no point in shorting it till we get an actual top because they're just buying this. It's call buying, it's covering, it's a squeeze. That's what it looks like to me. This reminds me
even of
those, this reminds me of those meme days where it's just no level matters. It just keeps on ripping upside. So we'll give some back. Right now as AMD breaks through 131, right? So that'll be our out. We already have that order triggered. It's a stop order, hands are off. So this will be a 28-cent hit plus slippage. Let's call it 35 cents or so back down to the downside. I'm not averaging in. I'm already short here at 73 and not super happy with it. So it is going to break. I just hope I get a good price on the break. So right now it's...
One thing for the chips quickly?
Yeah, sure.
SOXL, if you're
out here.
Look, obviously you'll see us chart the futures all the time. Like we care what the NASDAQ is doing and got all that good stuff. But SOXL, if you're looking at this, it is rounding into some resistance. 24 a quarter, 24.40, and it just wicked 24 even. And some sellers came into the SOXL. Just the second I saw AMD and I was watching and ARM at the same time. I was watching NVIDIA at the same time, but SOXL got to that 24. Some sellers came in. There's overhead resistance on some of those chips. That being said, the one that I'm in, I wish I could tell you it was Intel. As I said, I made a keystroke error and got it at it too early. We did not break 66 on ARM. I'm still holding 65 for the 66 break. And Affirm just made, it just did that wick. So it wicked underneath 41. I took some out. It's now back above 41. I'm shooting 42 on this play. Let's see how far this one can go to set upside.
I mean, so again, like I keep battling the same ideas. Like I have, it's for myself. It's like sometimes I just don't. Like we saw AMD yesterday and the way it moved, and I was like, this is still going up. And then I had, again, this is part of the problem when, you know, again, I told you what my problem is. Like I put on shares and then I was like, oh my God, I have too many. I better get some out just in case. And then this happens and I don't have enough on. when it happened. So anyways, we took the L's up there. We got some out at 80, but then we got some out at 50 and now at 60. Now we're 20 cents in the money. Let's get another out here at 70 if we can get it. So yeah, that was good, man. Saved. I'm just going to say saved. Okay, well, now it's just a good trade. But that we were saved there because it did look like AMD was really ramping up. We did not have, it's only right here. We were short 73s. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a flat trade. We did get some out on the top and some out on the bottom, literally making it a flat trade. And now we'll just roll with what we have left. And if this goes down, fine. If it goes back up, it would not surprise me at all to go either way now. Either we take out this top of 131 because the buyers are not exhausted and we continue to go, or we fall back in like we've been doing until the last 20 minutes. Let's just check out the strongest of them all, of course. It's not going to be the strongest of them all. I assume AMD will be at some point today. But NVIDIA up another 2%. So yeah, these names keep on working. It looks like it's going to be a mistake after all to continue to look at these stocks in a negative light. We are Google, we are $1.50 in the money. It's how we roll, but we're going to get out. If this breaks through 136 significantly by 5 cents, then we will get out of this trade. So again, we sort of give up that top 30 cents there. What are we going to do? If you just keep getting out like this, then you don't have this. So we don't have a big part on here. And here it goes, man. AMD's looking to break through 131 right now.
This market it's you know what the amazing thing about this market is the number of people that you constantly hear. It's like, oh, we're in a bull market. We know we're in a bull market. Yet, when it feels like it's going to be weak, the buyers are here. They just are, like whether it's cash on the sidelines or whatever you want to give it. It's been surprising every day. And the only thing I will say is I was determined not to be too surprised by strength today. And I still think it happened. 100% it still happened. I'm surprised by some of the strength. As I said, if I had known that we'd get to 16.1 the way that we did off 16,000, I think instead of just, sorry, I'm just infatuated with a firm there. Want to get to Google. Like, I would have reversed. I keystroked. The crazy thing is, I'm in a keystroke error long in Alphabet, and within 5 minutes, it would have been just as good as all the shorts. Now, obviously, in this situation, I'm not going to complain about anything trading this. I got the tops and bottoms, had the tight stop out, like everything worked with this trade. But the reversal was, like, look how good it is once it makes that key reversal level. So let's respect the strength in this market. If we're going to pull back in, let's think about where the dip buys might be. On the NASDAQ, I don't think it's that hard to tell. What was the bottom? What was the top yesterday and the day before that? And look for that for a dip buy. That's 1606 to 1604, somewhere in that range. If we dip, I think you got to grip it and rip it and just buy into the dip if we do see it. Speaking of things that you can buy the dip in, let's see if that's possible in crypto with Adara.
Been a while since we've talked about CZ, Binance founder here, but update, he will be stuck in the U.S. until sentencing, will not be allowed to go back to the UAE before he is sentenced. The sentencing is set for February 2024, so stay tuned for that. Just an update there. In terms of Bitcoin, we're seeing, a big push up here. We're just dancing below that $44,000 area. We're at 43.9 right now, so keep an eye on this. After 2 slight days of decreases, we're seeing some strength here for Bitcoin. All of the cryptocurrencies really strong today, to the point where Bitcoin actually looks weak in comparison. Ethereum here up well above that 2,300 area, so definitely one to watch. Solana been really strong in general, but up about 11% right now, and Cardano up 21%, guys. Lots to see with crypto.
So this is one thing I always have to follow my rules. If I was flat, and this was, I had a trading mentor, which is weird because he was more of like just a general mentor. We were even on the floor at the same time. But when I got into the business, I remember we'd always have chit chats. And he said, like, if you have a system and you have rules, you're supposed to follow it. And then he would always say, okay, well, if you didn't have a position on the stock and you were just looking at it, what would you do in that situation? And if you're long a stock, but if you ask yourself, what would I do here if I was flat without a bias? If my answer was short, then it's like cover the long. Because you're seeing something that's telling you that this stock is going to pull back, so why would you want to hold along? So I'm going to get to the reason why here on ARM, but you just saw me cover it. I talked about that first day on ARM. This is 66 change, 66 quarter on the IPO. It broke 66, failed above there, never got to that quarter mark, failed the 10s, came back underneath. If I was flat and did not have a bias to the long side, I'd be looking for a short back into VWAP. So I'm just going to get out. If I see 65 again, I think I grip it and rip it. And then I'm a baseball guy, so that's what I think about. Sometimes that's the wrong call, right? Like I'm doing something very different with a firm on this where I'm holding a firm. So I get out of ARM, but I held a firm through. I took something out, but managed to hold through to look for the 42 on a firm. It's a different, and the difference between the two was simply, was there a significant level? To me, there was nothing between 41 and 42 that made the upside of that move so good that it needed to be held onto, at least something, to try and capture that top. And as a matter of fact, I look at it, when I look at it deeper, I shouldn't be hoping for just 80s and 90s. This is perfectly good from anywhere from 50 to 75. I should be looking for the out here on a firm. So we'll see what happens here. Remember, at the end of the day, you can a call is what it is. Like I had to take this long 3 times by my rules. Right? If I had taken it long and just kept buying into it, I would be having my best day this month. However, if this ultimately failed 39, then I'd probably lose like an entire week on a single day. So like you gotta have some kind of rules here. I'm gonna watch it pull back a little bit. Yeah, I'm seeing some weakness in it. That's enough for me. Seller here at 34, so I'm just gonna jump to 32s and get out. So there was a big seller as it rejected here, and then they jumped into 34. I'm gonna take it out there. I was giving it a chance to get into 42, but that's to me the anatomy of a trade, right? So the market's going to give you opportunities to get it back. But you saw what happened. Once, twice, did not work, thrice did, but in the same vein, like have a look at Roblox, right? Like Roblox is the antithesis for me of the breakout trade. Like I actually liked Roblox better. Where are my lines on my chart? I like these even better, and this was my #1 idea for the breakout. But look, it failed. It failed my support level. I'm out of it. Like this stock is now down almost $2 from where I liked it as a long. And look, it might show a 40 level for support. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Yeah. But I took the profit and run on both the longs, gave the reason why, and now we're just going to work with the shorts that we have. I'm hanging on to XPEV for 15 even. I think we're imminently about to get it. That one's only going to the downside. It's down 5%. And the reason I got 15, let's just go to the daily.
Wow.
I mean, that's 15.10 on the daily chart there. So again, XPEV, there was bad news. It was in our watch list this morning. The Chinese EVs had some weakness. It broke this level to get to this level, and it's doing its own thing today, even in the market strength.
Look, thank you so much to Ryan, to Kian, to everybody. Like, it's just, we're short right now off of the same idea, man. It's 130.50. It's AMD. It's another dollar in the money. It's kind of humbling sometimes when we sit here and we show you guys some of the trades that we have, and then it's just like, when they work out, they look great, and when they don't, they don't. And I don't know. I mean, look at this trade on Google too. I don't know. Like I'm just really. It's tough to do the show live like this, and you can see other traders. That's why I try to tell you guys, like, that's why we don't give away share size. But you can always ask us about, green or red or symbol specifically like that. But it's more about the breaking down of the trade. We got out of this at 136. I just like a little bit. It's not like sometimes it's a little bit of a loss for words there, but this is trading. Thank you so much. I mean, for everybody in the chat, like, the show would be here without me. I don't know why people are saying that. The whole thing here is like, you need to have different styles of trading. Everyone's going to trade differently. So it's just like, we got to stay focused on what your strategy is. And that's why we talk about it all the time. And this is why we have the midday show, They talked about journaling the other day. And yeah, what's up, Hayes Record? Of course we're going to fight on. I mean, come on. Look, it's just like, sometimes you put your pen to paper, and when it works, it's great. And it's just about having the ideas and then trading your accounts, trading them appropriately, understanding where you make the money from. You know, like someone today could be like, I didn't trade AMD, but then, you know, did you trade Tesla off 244? You know, like that was another idea that we had. Like it's still right here. You know, like sometimes it is about picking and choosing. And it's just like, I like to stay with names that have been super hot fire, you know? And I mean, AMD right there, look at this. Now we're $2 in the money, you know? And we just saved $1 on Google by getting out, you know? So it's like, again, I kind of felt like Google, I did not expect that kind of a move to the upside. So that's why we really just pieced it out there. It's actually not that much of a winner. It's more just being able to sit in these trades. Look, we got a podcast tonight. Join me and Brendan. That'll be tomorrow morning is when we will release it. But we've been putting in a lot of work. I mean, this market recap show, join me every single night, man. We started tweeting live yesterday on X. We were live yesterday, and we were always on YouTube as well. But like, here we go, man. It's $1.70 now in the money, you know? And it's just like, you could sit here, actively trade, passively trade. I mean, and another trade that we had too, and you can't have them all, and this is what I'm getting at. Like this Palantir long at 17, that just hit so early, but we were already in AMD. You know, like we'll give some ideas out, but at the end of the day, it's you guys, it's Neil, it's me, it's Sharif, it's Adara, it's Patrick. It's everybody's gonna have the ability to choose whatever style they want and whatever trades they want. So all you can do is look at how we're trading. If the style fits you, great. And if it doesn't, just listen. Like part of it is listening, right?
Well,
it's
the
like
process of developing the strategy
right, exactly.
is just as important.
Right.
Just as important.
Just as important. And then you're going to analyze it and look at your results. And honestly, if you're negative last month, negative the month before, negative the month before that, you're doing something wrong. So just change it. You know, every time you hit long, maybe you should have hit short. And vice versa. But that comes with studying.
Well, that's a bit different.
That comes with knowing what you're doing and if it's working out for you. You know, so anyways, it is what it is. Here comes Roblox right back into 40. And this is why we make decisions like that. Like get out, because Roblox is not trading properly. You know, and that's where we're trying to help with the years of experience to show you guys. You know, by the way, Bitcoin right now is back to 44,000. That Mara, see, like, I don't trade Mara, but we talked about this looking like a decent break here at 1650. And look, it's still here at 1650.
You're not going to believe what happened to my barber.
Oh, your barber. Oh, did I hear when I was gone that crypto, what was Cardano up? That's not up 20.
No, Cardano made a big move. Actually, my barber asked about that.
What?
So obviously crypto's having a big day. Every time I get my haircut, it's like the first thing we talk about is crypto, because he always asks me. It's crypto and Tesla, and I've tried to talk to him about the things like the Qs and just other tech, but it is what it is. As crypto's making the big move up, he forgot a password to his wallet. And I'm like, dude, you might want to look at, I'm not saying you got to trim something, but now would not be a good time to be forgetting. That's one of those things. Like if you, like you have to, like you got to be on lock, like especially when like, you know, when real money is at play there. Like I've heard plenty of stories about people like, oh man, I don't have the key and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, that's a pretty serious thing. I don't think it's something to be brushed off. But the moves have been, I mean, to say they're real and spectacular, to quote a line from Seinfeld, that's entirely true. I'm out. Look, I have no positions on because I just got the bottom on XPEV. So it's one of those days. I've said this before. No matter what happens to you at any part of the day, just take the next trade and take the next thing that sets up. Because I'll be honest, you saw what happened with all the breaks. They all sucked. And yesterday was kind of similar. Like there was a few trades in the morning. You're like, oh, you got to give up. No, but there were opportunities. GameStop, reversal, yada yada. Some good. The afternoon gave you opportunities as well, and you get it back. So that's what you got to be able to do. Now, if XPEV breaks 15, I think there's another leg that could go to the downside. That's certainly going to be in play. I think it was a good out on a firm only because it pulled back in, and you saw it dip. If it came in here to like 40.50, I would look for a rebuy, but. ARM, maybe not the same. So you make a decision. One looks really good. The other one is actually right back up to being strong again. There's no retest of the 65. I don't mind looking for a long if we hold 16,000 again. And it's a similar thing with Intel. Only Intel, I think I'm going to get imminently. So before we go to it, we're going to go to Dara right now. It is sector watch, but Intel is at support.
Yeah, a lot of strength here, speaking of Intel, in all of these chip-related names, including electronic technology as a sector, just really strong here. NVIDIA to the high side, AMD, Intel, all names to watch right now. Also Broadcom, keep on watch given the earnings that we had last night and an upgrade this morning. A little bit weaker there in the technology services sector, though. Meta still very strong. We had their Purple Llama introduction yesterday for safety and AI development, just a reminder there. Google a bit weaker here though, but the rest of the names are pretty mixed. Definitely in terms of strength, producer manufacturing very strong, energy minerals very strong, consumer services, consumer durable story led to the upside by Tesla, but also keep an eye on consumer services because this sector we have Paramount moving to the high side, beating 4-month highs after some news of a potential deal with a 77% shareholder. Also, keep in mind, Warner Brothers really strong to the high side as well today. So consumer services, not one to sneeze at.
Like, first of all, when I was saying negative last month, negative month before that, people are saying I should take a break. That's not me. I was not negative at all last month, so and not negative this month. So I ain't taking a break unless I'm forced to, which I am next week. So I'll be here a few days. I was just like, I had no idea, and some of you were like, wow, Sean, like Cardano. We last talked about buying this. This was the last purchase I made at 27 cents, something like that. I was going to search through my Twitter feed to show you guys when I tweeted it out that I was buying some Cardano. But I mean, this name, I feel like it was it a couple months ago? Maybe it was. Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's all been here. That's the last couple of days. But if you just go back to October, yeah, it was in here. So yeah, there it is. 24, yeah. So 24, 25 cents right there. And then Cardano goes boom. I'm going to have to do my own research on this one. But yeah. All right, that was good. There goes Mara breaking higher right now as well. It's altcoin rally in all of these altcoins. Ethereum, wow. Yeah, little humbling as we continue to talk like that. All right, AMD, we did take something out at 129.50. We didn't get enough out. We didn't get anything out at VWAP, so let's be a little smarter about that. Stupid Cardano got me feeling ways, and we didn't get out. All right, so that's going to be that one right now, and everything's going really good again. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Let's start looking at some new names. So let's look at Lulu, an earnings name. Let's just look at this. Remember I showed you guys that chart of Lulu just going to the upside, and even yesterday on the recap show, I hope you all joined me, I said that's probably a sandbag, and I even explained what sandbagging was, and that is when you come out with an expectation for, for a guide, and you purposely guide lower, okay? So like, why would Lululemon, and again, you got to read the report, and I didn't. I just like this stock continues to work. We showed you the revenues. They beat on every single thing except the guide, and like that to me is like, all right, you got to read the reasons, which I didn't do. But good companies, when they report and they get beat down, you tend to want to buy them. And I was kind of looking at CRM as one of those examples. This name is actually still at the levels of their report. So they had, again, there's the opposite way. They had a good report, ripped up, and now is just can't get going more than $10. So again, Lululemon today is made up $50. This CRM can't get going. So maybe, I'm just saying, maybe under the hood here, this report, I could see this getting faded out a little bit to the, you're at some nice resistance right here of 246, so support, 247. But again, this name is getting me a little bit excited, possibly for a short. We still own some CRM, so we'll have to look at that again, but I never want to. Okay, good, man. Good job, Ozan. And I don't know if Ozan, if that was from stuff that I was saying on the aftermarket, but you got it at 447 yesterday. So again, congratulations, man. See, you're now $40 in the money. So that's 10% for you. I think it goes higher, to be honest with you. So great call by that, Ozan. And again, good day today. And the Blue Jays are supposed to be getting Shohei Ohtani. So hopefully that works out. And
I was trying not to have that said out loud, but
yeah. Well, I'll say it out loud. I mean, it's supposed to be happening. So
it better happen.
We'll wait to see if it does happen or not.
I'll tell you right now, obviously, I'm a season ticket holder to the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm a bit of a fan. Shohei Ohtani is...
You know, I might go by season.
He is an absolute generational... He's just a generational talent. If you're looking, where Jared has his next to the Corona Zone is amazing.
Actually, the Corona, but I think they're going to be sold out.
The Corona Zone. So
Actually,
anyways, if you play, there's like 2 bars in the upper section of the dome now. And the Corona one's like the party side, like on a Friday or Saturday night. It's amazing.
Yep.
And then the other side, I forget what it's called because I should go there because it's more the family where the kids can
It used
play.
to be like the flight deck was in the middle.
I don't know what they call it.
There.
So the flight deck's in the middle. But anyways,
There's another sponsor.
we get Shohei Ohtani, the guy is, I mean, he's like right now the NVDA of baseball players. And you know what? That's not even fair because you can make an argument as to what the best stock is. You cannot make an argument as to who the best is. There's no LeBron or anything. The best player in baseball is right now Shohei Ohtani. It's just he just is that dude. So I'm excited for it. I really hope like I said, I hope it happens. But you know, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so I know a thing about disappointment. And if he doesn't get there, I'm going to be disappointed. And I'm disappointed we got out of ARM. And we hope Shohei's arm is okay if he comes to us. You make a decision. I got out. ARM is continuing to go higher. I said, let's not be surprised by stocks that are super strong. And you can still be surprised by the market. I don't care who you are. The market is going to surprise you some days. What's crazy? We saw AMD go 10% a few months ago, and then still yesterday it was surprising when it did. I'm surprised that ARM is continuing to go. I don't know where I'll be able to get back in, maybe a 66. We don't see VWAP on a firm. I want to be patient getting back into this. The one that set up, it was Intel to jump back in. I made a keystroke error on a firm. That was a bad out. It's still holding that support. Don't know why I have 2 lines there, but I'm sure I had a reason somewhere on my 15-minute chart. If we get to 75, that's first leg out, which we're getting to now. You got to have offers to get out. So we're going to put an offer there. We'll take one out if we get into that 42.85 area and then try to let it ride on Intel. This is another stock with some room to run. I don't think it has a chance at 45 today. I look at previous support turning into resistance. That's 43.35. If Intel gets to 43.35, then I want to be all out of a long position and thinking about a short on Intel.
All right. Again, a lot of great segments today, but nothing like what's requested on the chat right now. What's up to Dan McIsaac and everybody else? They want to know what's for lunch. So yesterday, we actually didn't talk about it. It was assorted gourmet sandwiches. And, you know, you could pick chicken. There was chicken in there. There was tuna. There might have been some egg salad. There might have been some turkey.
It was a little of everything.
A little bit of everything. Some nice Christmas bark as well. But today... I mean, if you think it's going to be chicken, then you would be having yourself a chicken dinner winner. Unfortunately, today, no. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
We go the way of beef. And today it is 7 cheese tortellini with rustic beef bolognese. So have a great weekend, it also says on the lunch note. So have a great weekend as well. Yeah, but there it is right now. It is 7 cheese tortellini with some rustic beef bolognese. Right now, my daughter is at some sort of, it's a PA day today. So my daughter is at some sort of a hockey camp, and I will be watching that video as we go over to Adara at the big desk for what's mattered a lot this week. It's Money Talks.
It's been a big week for the USD with regards to economic data. We've had a lot of employment-related data this whole week, and we capped it off with non-farm payrolls this morning. They did come in a bit higher than expected, 199,000 versus 180,000. Michigan consumer sentiment, though, we did get also higher than expected, so big rebound there. 6.94 versus 6.2 estimate and 61.3 prior there. Also worth noting, the inflation expectation was lower than the estimate, so USD seeing a bit of a pop here. We also, too, keep in mind the Japanese yen actually now struggling a little bit against the USD, but yesterday we did hit a 4-month high after some comments regarding the changing of monetary policies from the Bank of Japan's governor. So here is, as you can see here, giant pop for the JPY to the USD yesterday, now seeing a bit of a pullback there, guys.
Thank you very much, Adara. And the funny thing about it, when I kind of made a joke about the move in crypto. I'm like, it's real and it's spectacular. That episode of Seinfeld, I mean, it's referring to Terry Hatcher was the actress that played I guess the woman in that moment, it's her birthday today, oddly enough, which is weird. It's an obvious coincidence there. So shout out to Terry Hatcher, one of the many obscenely good cameos in arguably the funniest sitcom of all time. I don't think it's actually arguable. It probably is to me. I don't know what I would put ahead of it. You guys can try all you want. But just one quick update. I did get that fill 73 on Intel. If it breaks 80s, I want to get one in the mid 80s and then see if it can stair step up. I'm going to be looking for places. If we break 43, I might look for another dip buy. But the stairs are to the upside today. The market wants that 16.1 again. This is the reload that I found. Technically not a reload because I keystroked out of the first one. But yeah, it's the same level that we liked before. Let's go to the desk with Adara again.
Just a quick note on Tesla here. TSLA getting a little bit of a pop here on news that it has the Model Y standard range is sold out in China for the rest of 2023. So keep an eye on Tesla here, guys. Stepping to the high side up about 0.5%.
5 though.
Christopher Mulligan, how
did I know? I didn't figure it out. The chat told me.
No, but I'm just telling you, it's called Google.
No, but
I don't have to.
Okay, but I didn't Google it. The chat,
Yeah.
the line happened, and people in the chat were all over it. Like I guess there's some Terry Hatcher fans out there because I don't think it's common knowledge what her birthday is.
Someone Googled it, I would think. Obviously.
Which is a weird thing to just randomly do because a joke got made. But it's like you said, sometimes the world feels like it's wild because that's a huge coincidence. I had zero idea. It's obviously, I just like the line. I think it's a great episode. A couple of my buddies were talking about Bryan Cranston's episode, and they think that's like one of the greatest cameos of all time. Breaking Bad fame when he was the dentist.
Awesome.
But like,
that was funny.
I mean, like,
don't worry, she's under. Don't worry, she's under.
Dude, like that. I actually do think that was one of the top 5 scenes in Seinfeld history. If you've never seen Seinfeld,
George goes in there too, I think, doesn't he? Yeah, it's a pretty.
With the dentist?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think that. Yeah, I think Jerry brings him.
I mean,
in there,
Sharif
yeah.
would know. He's a big Seinfeld.
Well, there's an
guy,
insurance thing there, right? So
Yeah.
some sort of a scam going on with Cranston. Okay.
DocuSign still.
Yeah, Terry Hatcher was great in the Superman series, that is for sure. You know what? One name that we didn't look at today was DocuSign. Look, guys, I'm traded out, honestly.
What
like
the hell, DocuSign?
The only thing I have on is AMD. It's $1 in the money. I'm just going to let that go. We already have our stop, and I'm out of 85% of that trade. So it is what it is. DocuSign again today. So we always talk about earnings plays, right? And for me, it's always about the base. It's all about that base.
No treble.
And sometimes there's treble. I turn them both up. I put them both maximum in the car. So, but all right, 45 right there, that based, and then boom. Now I think it's gone, and I'm not going to trade it again. So if you base again, fine. But that's the kind of play. So let's go over another earnings play was LULU. This one does not do that, which makes it very, very hard. You had to have the thought that this was going to go. You could use pre-market bottoms, but for me, no. I don't even think I missed a trade on LULU because
I thought 440 was the only actionable level,
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
didn't even get $5 within that.
It would have been good if it got down there and then based. RH, again, I guess you could use 240 down here as a base for RH again, but this is why I stay away because, again, look, bad report comes back in, right? So you're thinking short, great. So today, a bad report on a company means we continue to go down. That's great. See, like there's LULU. Remember LULU? It did not break its pre-market bottom. This name, Restoration Hardware, RH, does break the bottom and continues to go. So those are kind of the thing. Like you either break the pre-market range, in the way that you're favoring and go with it. Problem is liquidity right off the jump. It's not like you can get in and out for a 30-cent hit. Like you're probably taking dollars if you're wrong. And then this one doesn't really base out enough to get you the move up. This is only a 1-minute chart. If you're looking at a 20-minute chart, maybe, you could use like 242 there, maybe. You're $1 in the money and it's coming back in right now. So RH, just another name that is not something that we normally trade. So I just wanted to review some earnings plays there. Don't know if there's really any other earnings to come through. We only have 4 more minutes. Again, we're going to throw to Adara and Sharif, and then at 1:30, 1:15 or so, depending on what we're deciding to do there, we do have a new member of the floor Patrick, how long have you been on the floor now? 3 months? 3 months. So Patrick, after 3 months, will be there, and you're going to hear, again, it'll still be a learn to trade type of atmosphere, but
Same thing, yeah.
it's not going to be the exact same thing, but they're going to play off each other, and it's going to be good, I think. So, oh, by the way, I forgot to bring this up. Thank you so much, Neil.
Well, there's kind of a story here.
First of all, thank you for supporting Gia and her raffles.
Well, no, this is because you got me the fritter, man.
Oh, yeah, and the fritter.
Well,
okay, well, first of all, you supported Gia.
But I lost Gia's raffle.
I know. And Gia sold the winning ticket, by the way,
you should
to somebody at, well, no, it was at an event. It was just a random, but anyways, so you won, or your wife won, I guess. Anyway, these are new, I'll turn them this way, you can see maybe it'd be better. They're Nutella covered and kind of filled up pretzels there. So I don't know the story. Anyways, that's going to be.
Give these guys a new toy and like.
No, I like it. Just keep on doing those things. That's going to be great. Next time when we're in trades, it'll be fun. Okay, so anyways, Nutella pretzels. Tell the story. We got a couple minutes left. I'm going to open them.
No, it's basically like all it is I have ridiculously good luck over the years in raffles. So I win a lot of raffles relative to the odds, which are horrific. But I didn't win Gia's. One day after I found out that I didn't win Gia's raffle for a team, my wife wins a work raffle, and it's like all these like candies and chocolates and crazy stuff in it. I was like, oh man, like I kind of guessed. I mean, I'm sure you like pretzels. It's like Nutella pretzels, which is, I mean, everybody likes Nutella. Like, who doesn't like Nutella? Because if you don't like Nutella, you better be allergic to it. Because I can live with that. If you're allergic to something, it's fine.
Get this open.
But everybody else. There's scissors by the makeup thing.
Okay, well, let's. Okay, well,
okay, but now
I'm gonna eat them as an afternoon.
Kind of
treat.
really want one now, but that's fine. It's whatever. There we go.
Well,
the problem is you break them out, you tell the story,
that
you start to
perfect
open
for
it.
the Metal Gear Solid thing there.
You gotta eat it. You have to try one. You guys want to see it. Tesla high of the day apparently. Jay Biz saying Nutella is disgusting. Okay.
What?
I mean.
Where's the ban? How do I ban this guy? What's his name?
I mean, no. I mean, I'm just gonna say no. I don't agree, and that's fine. To each their own. I'll be the first person to tell you, do you. If you don't enjoy something,
dude, I don't even know how these open up.
Don't do it. What's going on over here? What's the packaging of these things?
The thing is
can we just like?
It's not opening up on the sides here. All right, forget this.
All right, just go nuclear on it. Then, if you have to. Like, don't be polite about it. Just go nuclear. I don't understand sometimes why you make packaging even remotely difficult. Like, figure it out. Oh, there we go. Nutella pretzels. I mean, if that's not goodness.
I like. Yeah, you want some over there?
I mean, do you, but these are delicious, man.
No.
And I know I say a lot
of people. I'm in a good mood, but if people are starting to say something about hazelnut and Nutella.
How could you hate that?
And if they follow up with they don't like pistachios, then honestly, man.
Shout out to Nimit.
Oh yeah, he brought those pistachios.
Well, it was also we got it was Yummies.
The Yummies guy, Daniel from Yummies brought us like a bag, like basically like a not a garbage bag, but one of those. I don't
know what you call it.
Basically like a garbage bag, but
it wasn't actually a garbage.
No, but just that size, like
it was the size
of you get at like a grocery store, like
grocery store bag. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock. One update: Tesla is strong, market is strong, everything is strong except for
AMD is kind of weak.
Liotto, maybe. I don't know. It's
well, you know what's kind of weak? Google's weak. Google's down. So
Liotto's down 2%.
All right, I was gonna say like AMD is just weak off of 130. I don't know if it's weak today at all. It's up. The biggest name that's weak, I think Google. I think has maybe had its a day in the sun. But okay, guys, what a great day! Thank you so much for watching. I think it's been fantastic. Yeah, join us back at 2 o'clock. But for now, thanks for the. Here, have another one. You might as well.
Well, I mean, I was probably going to anyways, but thank you.
Yeah, because. I wonder how many there possibly. I mean, we could put a poll up. Will there be any left? I'm just gonna leave them right here. I don't know if we can help ourselves. I can't even. I mean, like I'm talking and eating.
There's 0 point putting.
I'm not even supposed to do that.
The answer is there will not be any left at 2 o'clock.
All right. Yeah.
See you guys. They're
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to Learn How to Trade. That is your girl, Adara. I am Sharif, and as always, we're going to wait for the chat to populate and people to come over from the other stream. We already got a couple of people. We got Big Pauly D. Sad that he changed his